Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 209 Sports. We are here. We are live in the Pacific Tiger studio. I am JD Jeff Dominic. Alongside with me to my left is Mr. DJ JOD, Mark Itliong. I got a couple guys in studio that are learning currently with me. That is Mr. Henry Morgan and Chris Lopez. Everyone's just kind of hanging out as Mark Itliong is going to show them a few things. Thank you all for joining us. This is going to be a little bit of a different kind of show as we are kind of cross-promoting, as a new show will be starting on Wednesdays from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. That is the Gonzo and Yeti show. They will be taking over at 6:30 until 7:30, as that is their regularly scheduled hour with me, and then they will be moving on, like I said, Wednesdays from 5 to 6 p.m. starting next week. So looking forward to that, as those are two more guys that I've been able to say that I've been lucky enough to train, get them ready for their upcoming show, and they will be also a sports show as well. So I'm looking forward to hearing what they have to say. They will be taking over once again 6:30 to 7:30 just to get their feet wet and a little bit more ready for their upcoming stuff. In the meantime, we have.
Wait, get them applause.
Golf clap.
Okay, go ahead.
That sounded kind of low, but I think that was just maybe me, my headphones or something. I don't know. But anyways, thank you all for joining us today. Lots to go over, as we are going to go ahead and recap what was the world of sports for Pacific. Water polo, volleyball, soccer, men's and women's soccer. Volleyball, as I mentioned, volleyball had a great matchup, and I've had a plethora of athletes to talk to about it, and as well as some and the coach as well, and also plenty of other coaches. And not to mention, how was field hockey this weekend? That was insane. Mark was there for most of it. That was intense, man.
Most of it, all of it.
All of it. I'm sorry, I was.
You're the one that most.
I was only there for 5 minutes of it. But Mark, that match was intense, man.
Yeah, especially against a not number one, but
nationally ranked number 15.
Number 15, yeah. So
man. So
the first loss of the conference for the Cardinals.
And we'll talk what Laura Puhade, the goalkeeper for the Pacific Tigers, and as well as coach, what had to say here later on tonight as we kind of get things going. But man, I'm telling you, that was probably the one. I've seen a good amount of field hockey, and to watch what these girls did. And if you go to our Facebook page, 209 Sports, and check out the reactions that these ladies had, it was even funny because I made fun of it as much as I did. I wanted to say that coach really wanted to get into it as well. And you see his hands raise up, and then he quickly turned around and walked away to go shake the coach's hands of Stanford. But all in all, you had to be really excited for this team, and I'm looking forward to it as well because, there we go. Because now I'll be fortunate enough to call the Cal versus Pacific match on Friday, 3:00, and
is Cal ranked?
Cal is not ranked.
Cal is not ranked.
So, but Laura Puhade feels like there's a lot of confidence built in that after this win, and I tend to agree with her. She's this whole match, I think, momentum-wise, has been on their side for the last 9 out of 10 matches, and then they did have that loss against Stanford, but after that, it's been one of those. This was probably one of the biggest confidence builders for this team, and I think that with this win here, we could be seeing a team that is to be reckoned with for the next few weeks as they get ready to go into their version of playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So that was huge. Men's water polo came out with a win. Men's soccer came out with a win on the road at LMU. We talked about it over on Tuesdays with Maury, which is the show that happens before us, and we were talking about the schedule coming up for the Pacific Tigers, and there's a lot going on, man. I mean, so we were talking about Thursday at 7:00. You're going to be at the water polo match while I go and watch volleyball, and then Saturday there's a few other things going on as well. Now Saturday, I'll have to ask about your schedule on Saturday a little bit, because I just happen to be looking at it, Mark. And so we were talking about going to football and representing for Delta.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
209 Sports.
For 209 Sports, going to Delta.
Play against Chabot.
I'm going to talk about that a little bit later tonight too. So we've got lots to talk about. But also, men's soccer plays Santa Clara here at 7:00. I didn't realize that until a little bit ago.
Who else? Is it only them to play home?
No.
Besides the volleyball game.
Yeah, volleyball is the only other one.
Oh, okay.
They play at noon. So once again, I don't know your schedule, but we've got to kind of counteract that hopefully a little bit here.
Oh, I can't really do anything at the evening.
Okay, but you can do the day.
Wait.
Saturday? Chabot?
Yeah, I think it should. It should be.
Because it isn't one team that you handle a lot not playing. Aren't they on a bye?
No, well, they play on Friday.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, I was thinking Friday I won't be able to do the volleyball game for Delta.
See, and we're not. Yeah, and I mean, you know that there's gonna be coverage there, so that kind of works out. And then Sunday, I got you, man. So if you need a day off, I can definitely let you have that.
Sunday, I got the Niners.
I know you do. I'm just kidding. But no, and then Sunday, yeah. I mean, it's field hockey, UC Davis, 2:00. Men's water polo, number 2 Cal. I said that this one was going to be one of the biggest matchups, and if they can get this win, they may be able to have an at-large bid.
Are they here or no
here
way?
At Jeltsin Field or Jeltsin Pool? So, so I'm looking forward to it, man. I mean, I think there's a lot of sports going on that that the people of the 209 and beyond need to know about, and like we the people. But we were talking about it in. The Specific News, is that what it's called? Specific News? That's going to be airing on Thursday at 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. right before Fantasy Football Classroom. That's on at 9:30 to noon. But go ahead.
Gotta give them applause.
Of course.
For the new programming.
Plenty of new programming happening. So we have, since we started, we have the Specific News, which is a play on the University of Pacific, and it's proud to say that, one, I've known Andrew for a little while now, and it just kind of happened to work out, but also I was his very first guest, so I can honestly say that when he becomes rich and famous because of his radio show, that he can say that the first person he ever interviewed was this lowlife named JD Jeff Dominic, so...
No.
Yeah. So, but no, but you know what, though, it's funny because everyone knows that I'm mostly about sports, and that's really what I want to talk about. But you're a jerk. But yep. But it's funny because
It's funny because they can't hear what the sound effects are for.
No, I know they just were laughing. But it's funny because we actually started talking a little bit about politics. I'm not very good with politics. I just think that we need to start over. But the insight that we had was actually really good. So if you're interested in politics, anything happening around the Pacific campus, definitely listen to this show that is Specific News on Thursday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. And we're also going to be starting to do a live show on Tuesdays that will make it the rebroadcast. So I'm looking forward to that, and I think everyone's going to enjoy that.
When's that live broadcast on Tuesday?
It's going to be Tuesday from 1 o'clock till 2 o'clock. Yep. Okay, I got the thumbs up. So which means I've got an assignment for you. So,
all right.
Okay, so we're gonna be doing that as well. So, you gonna hit any sporting events there this week?
I have a speech and debate tournament, so I won't be able.
That wasn't my question.
Well, good luck.
Good luck,
Maybe
man.
if there's a home game at University of Nevada Arena, I don't know.
There you go.
I was gonna say there's a couple home games here. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, but definitely listen to some of the new programming. I think we got a total of 8 new shows out there right now. I think it's something like that. So I don't know. You got the perfect.
I was trying to see what's that.
So yeah, you have the scheduling, Andrew. I think, or I think both of you guys do actually. Chris Lopez as well in here with us, and so I think they have a total of 8 new shows. That includes our show from 209 Sports. That's from Tuesday from 6 to 9. Tuesdays with Maury from 5 to 6 on Tuesdays. We have Fantasy Football Classroom. That's on Tuesdays from 9:30 to 12, which also rebroadcasts on Thursday from 9:30 to 12. Go ahead. So I got the phone here. So Fantasy Football Classroom, yep, there's that one. Tuesdays with Maury, the 209 Sports Show. Gonzo and Yeti, Specific News, and then coming soon, there's more to come. And actually, there's going to be a possibility of a show coming up with Malik Haynes, and that'll be on Wednesdays as well from 7 to 8, but we'll be talking about that one at some point, probably next week. So, what do we say, Mark? What do we want to do? We want to go to a little bit of a break?
You need a break?
I never need a break,
You've been
bud.
talking for the last 2 hours.
Really? I've been talking a little bit longer than that. You just don't know, son. Hit my music. You listen to 209 Sports Talk here on the Pacific Tiger Radio Network, 91.9 FM, as well as on the 209 Sports YouTube channel. I am JD Jeff Dominic. Alongside with me, Mr. DJ JOD, Mark Itleong, who is my engineer / co-host, who's been that way for a very long time. We will be right back.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him going on to fascinate millions with his talent, 1 in 260,000. The odds of him having 15 career NASCAR victories, 1 in 1.7 million. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism, 1 in 68. I'm Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Go Caleb! Come on, hit a homer, Jesse!
Let's go, guys!
Hey, did you guys know that kids who play sports earn more money when they grow up?
Of course. I knew that.
Hey, did you guys know that kids who read books have a bigger vocabulary?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Mhm.
Wow, jinx. Did you guys know that friendly children have more friends?
Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
That's true. I knew that. Did you guys know that winter babies are better at music?
Everyone knows that.
Oh, yeah?
It's pretty obvious.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
obvious.
Oh, hey, guys, did you know that most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Huh. I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure I knew that.
I'm pretty sure you didn't.
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right car seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to make sure your child is protected. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
How to be a great dad in 15 seconds. Bike ride, go fish, walk in the park, phone call, milkshake, play catch, picnic, fly a kite, tell jokes, laugh, talk, read a story, tell a story, bumper car, swing set, bowling, pillow fight, cut loose, stay tight. Whew. Because the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You are a waste, a loser. Everyone hates you. Why don't you just stay in your car and keep driving? I'm serious. Drive until you run out of gas, then get out of your car and walk until you find someone who doesn't think you're dumber than bricks. Could take a while, but at least all that walking might burn a couple of calories.
You may not witness bullying like this every day. Your kids do. They want to help, but they don't know how. Visit stopbullying.gov to learn safe, simple ways your child can help stop bullying. Be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
Great party, huh, guys?
Yeah, it is. So much fun.
If I do say so myself. Hey, did you know that birthday parties actually help build confidence in kids?
Yeah, I did know that.
Did you know that giving kids less sugar before bedtime helps them sleep better?
Right, of course.
Yeah, I knew that. Did you know that strollers have the right of way on sidewalks?
Oh, yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, that's true. Did you know that friendly kids statistically have more friends?
Everyone knows that.
Oh, yeah?
It's pretty obvious.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
obvious.
Hey, guys, did you know that most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
I didn't know that.
Think I knew that.
No, you didn't.
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right car seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to make sure your child is protected. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I heard on the news about that 5-year-old who found his uncle's gun. The kid didn't know it was loaded.
I heard on the news about that 14-year-old girl who was bullied online. For like a year, she couldn't take it anymore, so she got her dad's gun from his nightstand.
I heard on the news about that guy who broke into someone's house, stole a gun from the hall closet.
He accidentally shot his cousin in the head.
She killed herself.
And later, killed the owner of the store he was trying to rob.
If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, troubled teenagers, a thief, or anyone else who might misuse it. Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Remember, always, lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
There was a reason why I didn't have you become a board guy for the last, what was it, 4 weeks? So our favorite, the LLK has been chiming in over the last, I don't know, how long has he been chiming in? The last 20 minutes or so since we started the show. And he has basically said that at some point down the road we were harsh. But then he also said, who? I can't do it as good because I'm not that. Well, he wants you to do the who and start running around like a chicken with your head cut off whenever you do the who. So I think that's what he was going for. And he also did mention that the Dodgers are beating the Cubs 1-0. So
thanks for the update.
If you're a Dodgers fan, that's, well, I'm sure his
what's the record?
His son is probably happy. It's 1-1.
1-1.
So
what's the series with the other one? Is it 2-0?
3-1.
3-1?
3-1 right now. Blue Jays are just 1-1 today.
Okay.
So that's, but they have a total of 3 over there in Toronto. So
wow, that's good. You can count. You say 3.
I went like that too.
Good, you put
I
the
held
right
them up. I'm glad I picked the right ones. So, but yeah, no. Ultimately, it's unfortunate. So. We have an Alabama fan in the house right now too. So
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Which our loyal listener is probably going to hate you right now because he likes Ole Miss.
Well, so, I'll actually be in Baton Rouge this weekend doing the Ole Miss at LSU game.
There you go. So just in case anybody doesn't know, he is a camera guy. The guy behind me that everyone can see on the cameras here. That is our professor Graham Carpenter, who is also well. It's hard for me not to say that he's a professor. It's because I'm more social with him about it than anything. So see, there you go. See,
now I can see.
So yeah, it's a little bit of a delay.
You're trying to pick the camera like, wait, I don't see myself there. Wait,
let's not forget, I am a cameraman, so this is a little confusing.
Yeah.
This show, guys, so far I've been listening. Keep it up. Keep up the good work.
Right on, man. So he will be chiming in every now and then as he kind of gets things going. Anyways, back to what we were talking about today. So we'll kind of recap of what happened over the weekend. Pacific Tigers taking on UC Davis as they were talking about University of Pacific women's field hockey. Pacific barely beat UC Davis, and this was within the closing seconds. And that was thank you to Alicia Munoz on an assist by Savannah Burns. Savannah Burns has been absolutely all over the place over the last few weeks, and I think that she is really starting to come into her own, especially her junior year where she started off struggling a little bit. But, someone's pointing at me. Specific. The other one is his own personal thing.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I was looking at the other.
I'm sorry, that was horrible radio, but we had to get something done. We're also doing a little bit of training as we get things going. But anyways, Pacific won in the closing minutes against UC Davis. UC Davis is going to be coming into Pacific Tigers field hockey turf here coming up in the next, I believe, in the next 2 weeks or so. But in the meantime, we are worried about Cal. Kind of, because we'll talk about that a little bit later tonight too. Cal is going to be one of the big games. I think I'm more big on it because I'm the one calling that game versus anybody else. So I'm excited about that one. And unfortunately, Mr. Paul Meiskens, who calls a lot of their games, is going to be unavailable for that one. So he reluctantly, but gladly let me have that opportunity, and I'm going to take it to full force, and I'm pretty excited about it. So they barely won 3-2, Pacific and UC Davis, and I see that we got a couple other guys coming in here soon. That means in about now, as soon as we get this uploaded, we'll get that handled here in just a moment. But that means the Gonzo and Yeti show is going to be taking over for the next hour, which means be prepared, buckle your seatbelts, and see what they've got going on for you. But of course, and I'll be back in about the next hour. Well, I'm not leaving anywhere. They're going to just kind of be watching me, or I'm going to be watching them, making sure that they get everything handled. But like I said, they'll have a great show, and things coming up for them too. Pacific versus UC Davis won in the closing seconds. That was on the 14th. That was on Friday. which was also my payday, which was awesome. But anyways, we'll talk about that. We can talk about that at another day. But I got a head shake from Mark. But let's see here. We also have. What did I just miss? That's still the UC Davis score. What the heck? Anyways, but I think the biggest thing that these guys may want to talk about is the big win over Stanford, as well as some things that happened over for volleyball and possibly some soccer news as well. So, Mr. DJ JOD, are you ready for me, or are you still? No, not yet. So I got the head shake. No. So we're going to continue talking for the next few minutes without any reasoning. But the win over Stanford was huge, and I want to say that there was the biggest shout out to Laura Puhade, who we will have an interview with, that I'll kind of give the Gonzo and Yeti show the opportunity to use throughout the night, if they so choose, as well as some volleyball stuff, and of course any soccer things, anything from soccer that they may want to use, especially with the women's soccer team that was at home in that rain-soaked field, which I made the joke of not realizing on how wet my pants were getting when that all happened. Half my pants were soaked throughout that thing. It was horrible. And I didn't realize until after the match, because I didn't move. I was cold. but what a huge win for the women's Pacific women's field hockey team. Volleyball had a great match and swept St. Mary's, and I think that's the first time they swept them at home in 5 years. I was looking at some stats, and so coming up with a sweep against St. Mary's, a good St. Mary's team, not a great St. Mary's team, but a game that should have been won. I was thinking it was going to go to 4. They swept them in straight sets, so congratulations to the women's volleyball team. They are getting ready for a match coming up on Thursday at 7 o'clock. Like I said, many things coming up here that we need to make sure that we get ready for them as we get closer to that time frame. But anyways, you ready, Mark? I need to go to break. Time for Gonzo and Yeti, so we got to let them have their time. So there we go. So time for me to step aside. Gonzo and Yeti is currently up next on the 209 Sports YouTube channel. They will be moving off to their own show here soon. But anyways, this is 209 Sports on Pacific Tiger Radio Network, 91.9 FM, as well as the 209 Sports YouTube channel. JD Jeff Dominic alongside with DJ JOD, Mark Hitleong. Stay tuned for Gonzo and Yeti. We'll be right back.
Wanting to take your fantasy football lineup to the next level? For beginners and the advanced players, listen to Fantasy Football Classroom every Tuesday and Thursday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. JD, Jeff Dominic.
Odell Beckham, I mean, where has he been? He was highly regarded as one of the top, I'm going to say top 5 wide receivers picked in the majority of fantasy football leagues. And he has been, I mean, heck, I'd much rather have Victor Cruz right now than him. Here's the other thing about Sammy Coates is that he's a good player to stash. This is coming from Mark Hitleong, our third member. Like I said, he'll be back here hopefully next week. He now has five games of 40 or more yards. Mm-hmm. So there's somebody there.
Professor Stephen Farias.
Dak Prescott, he's got a good running game. He might have Dez back this week. He might not, but he's still going to go underneath. He's got Cole Beasley, Jason Witten, likes to throw that underneath pass. He's going to get you a ton of completions.
Listen to Fantasy Football Classroom every Tuesday and Thursday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Pacific Tiger Radio, 91.9 FM.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him going on to fascinate millions with his talent, 1 in 260,000. The odds of him having 15 career NASCAR victories, 1 in 1.7 million. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism, 1 in 68. I'm Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
How to be a great dad in 15 seconds. Bike ride, go fish, walk in the park, phone call, milkshake, play catch, picnic, fly a kite, tell jokes, laugh, talk, read a story, tell a story, bumper cars, swing set, bowling, pillow fight, cut loose, stay tight. Whew. Because the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. Take 1.
Behold the angry giant.
Try it again, Alberto.
Behold the angry giant.
Perfect. Good luck tonight.
Behold the angry giant.
Yay! Read me another one, Dad.
This is WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Como 2.340.000 sonrisas, 28.800 besos de buenos días,
Buenos días.
110 viajes increíbles y unas copas. Hay una vida entera de su compañía que su familia no podrá disfrutar. Todo porque él decidió manejar después de tomar unas copas y murió en un choque. No pierdas tanto por culpa de tan poco. Manejar medio tomado es igual que manejar borracho. Un mensaje del Departamento de Transporte de Estados Unidos y de Ad Council.
You are a waste. A loser. Everyone hates you. Why don't you just stay in your car and keep driving? I'm serious. Drive until you run out of gas, then get out of your car and walk until you find someone who doesn't think you're dumber than bricks. Could take a while, but at least all that walking might burn a couple of calories.
You may not witness bullying like this every day. Your kids do. They want to help, but they don't know how. Visit stopbullying.gov to learn safe, simple ways your child can help stop bullying. Be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
Wanting to take your fantasy football lineup to the next level? For beginners and the advanced players, listen to Fantasy Football Classroom every Tuesday and Thursday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. JD, Jeff Dominic.
Odell Beckham, I mean, where has he been? He was highly regarded as one of the top, I'm going to say top 5 wide receivers picked in the majority of fantasy football leagues. And he has been, I mean, heck, I mean, I'd much rather have Victor Cruz right now than him. Here's the other thing about Sammy Coates is that he's a good player to stash. This is coming from Mark Leong, our third member. Like I said, he'll be back here hopefully next week. He now has five games of 40 or more yards. Mm-hmm. So there's somebody there.
Professor Stephen Farias.
Dak Prescott, he's got a good running game. He might have Dez back this week. He might not, but he's still going to go underneath. He's got Cole Beasley, Jason Witten, likes to throw that underneath pass. He's going to get you a ton of completions.
Listen to Fantasy Football Classroom every Tuesday and Thursday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Pacific Tiger Radio 91.9 FM.
You are a waste. A loser. Everyone hates you. Why don't you just stay in your car and keep driving? I'm serious. Drive until you run out of gas, then get out of your car and walk until you find someone who doesn't think you're dumber than bricks. Could take a while, but at least all that walking might burn a couple of calories.
You may not witness bullying like this every day. Your kids do. They want to help, but they don't know how. Visit stopbullying.gov to learn safe, simple ways your child can help stop bullying. Be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
Confessions of a Potentially Perfect Parent, brought to you by AdoptUsKids.org.
I know more about cooking dinner for a party of 12 than about packing a lunch for a 12-year-old. I know kids like things like fish sticks. Fillets, I get, but sticks? Maybe we can just compromise on mac and cheese. Can you make that with Brie?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you. Call 1-888-200-4005 or visit AdoptUsKids.org for more information. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
Okay, so 5 tacos of cheese and a large soda. That's $10,012. Please drive around.
Wait, 10,000 what?
It's obvious you're buzzed and driving.
I've only had a few. I'm fine.
Yeah, the food's $12, but getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Please drive around. Actually, just park and come in.
Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him going on to fascinate millions with his talent? 1 in 260,000. The odds of this born racer having 157 career top 10 finishes in NASCAR? 1 in 125 billion. But every driver seeks the pinnacle of their achievements. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year? 1 in 195 million. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I'm NASCAR driver Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference.
Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
You are listening to
Yeti in the Gordon at 209 Sports on the Pacific campus at around 6:39 p.m. Oh man, this mic is...
I'm working on it. Go ahead. Keep talking.
Anyways, Lucas, how you doing tonight? I'm doing all right. Gordon, how are you? I'm tired. Yeah, amen. Weight's killed me. What do you want to start with first, Lucas? Let's talk a little volleyball. Let's talk it. What do you got?
Actually, you know what? Let's start out with men's soccer. You know, they've been doing a fantastic job. As we can see, they are now 2-1 in conference. I believe they handed USD their first conference loss of the season on this Sunday.
Yeah.
It was a 1-0 game. It was quite a good job. Cervantes scored. Guy's a flat-out stud.
You know who's a stud is Andres. Yeah. That is a stud. He's been a leading scorer for the past 2 years, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
I'm pretty sure, yes. Him and Cervantes as well. Did you watch the best part of it all? I thought it was like, I was watching the highlight film that they created and how one of my favorite ones was when they played UNLV, and after they scored to get the overtime win, they just took their shirts off and just started going nuts, threw the soccer ball up in the air and just started going together and just going crazy. I was loving that highlight film.
Yeah, they got a lot of talent and they got a lot of heart, and it's really paying off. I think they're 10-3 right now, which is the best obvious record that they've ever had for Pacific men's soccer, only being around for around, I think this is their third year here.
Yeah.
That's incredible, I think. You know, coming in, being a program for 2 years, having 2 wins their first year, I believe 1 win that following, and then just coming out and cranking out at 10 wins, and they're not even close to being done.
Well, and what's crazy is that last year, I mean, they were in last. They didn't have a win last year.
No conference wins, 0.
No conference wins, and this year, I mean, I thought a really cool thing is they saw, like, the other day, Spencer was talking in the weight room when they were lifting and stuff, and it was like, you know, it has, like, their rankings on there, blah, 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 and it shows...
Are they still 18?
Yeah.
They're still 18, that hasn't moved?
No, it hasn't moved, but, like, what I was saying is, like, in conference finishes, they had them all the way at 10th. And it's still, even after they were being ranked 18th, they're still supposed to finish 10th in the conference.
They still have them finishing at 10th?
Yep, still have them finishing
That's outrageous. I can't believe that.
What's shocking, though, is, like, I'm surprised they dropped that ball to St. Mary's because of how much momentum they had going.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they were on 7 straight. Yeah. Right? They had 7 straight wins. They came in, they beat yet SDSU, number 11 SDSU, mind you. Fullerton, always a powerhouse program no matter the sport.
Mm-hmm.
They come into St. Mary's. St. Mary's, I think they've been rattling off wins too, if I'm correct. I think they're like 7-0 actually.
Yeah.
But
well, a lot of people fail to realize too, is that those state schools usually are so dominant because it's so easy to get people into there. You know,
absolutely. You can see it in baseball too. You know?
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
It's a different. It's like if you're academically not there to be into a private university, a good UC, that's where you're going. You're going to state school.
Exactly.
Cal State, Fullerton, Long Beach State, San Diego State. That's a pretty good state school actually, but Cal Poly, I mean, they've always just had good teams.
Yeah, I mean, Sac State, that's not the case, but...
Yeah, they're a little different. They have occasionally put out a decent baseball squad, as we've seen, but overall, I just think it's a great look for our team. I mean, recruiting is going to be a lot easier now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're getting new facilities, a lot of new facilities, which they do need. It is a nice venue, but if they just can enhance their facilities, continue to win, the recruits are going to be piling in. If you're staying in the top 20 for rankings, you're doing all right.
The big thing, too, is that how many recruits they've gotten from overseas. It's surprising that that they're able to get all those guys to come to the West Coast when it's like soccer's a bigger deal over there than it is here. You know
Absolutely.
What I mean?
I could see that. And you can also make that same case for women's soccer.
Yeah.
With Sigrid Oss, Siggy, they call her. She came in, I think she's from Poland.
Yeah.
That's a long ways away, and she came in and she's contributed right away as a freshman, especially in that big win against St. Mary's when they opened up in conference. Speaking of which, I think they're going to need to rattle off a few more wins here in conference. I think they can do it. They're going up. I mean, Santa Clara is a good team. They were a good team. USF wasn't as good. Let's hope they can turn it around again and take that momentum they had for the opening win into the second and get their second conference win. If they can finish 2-2 within this next week, I don't know who they have, but that would be good.
They got Portland.
Portland's good.
Portland's ranked top 25.
Portland's always good. That's tough. I know soccer's big up there for men's and women's, but
you want to talk women's soccer?
Yeah, let's talk women's soccer. Jordan, you gonna pull up women's soccer?
I'll pull up women's soccer here. I know. Well, first off, if anybody doesn't know out there that the location of the game had to be changed to Delta due to the rain conditions, and so they had to be able to play on turf.
It was coming down.
It was coming down pretty hard. So I mean, that's a big adjustment for them to having to change for that. Especially at home with like their own field, and now they had to adjust to the turf. But I mean, yeah, that sucked. It was pouring rain like no other. I don't know how they were able to go up and down the field like that with. It was just constant beating down on them.
Oh, it was coming down for sure, and those conditions are tough in any sport. Being at Delta is a little nicer on that turf, but without a doubt, they showed a lot of heart out there. I don't know how LMU pulled out that win. I mean,
Sig in that 11th minute had the free shot, but I think it's the fact that it was the fact that it's wet and it's on turf. I mean, she probably didn't feel the same. It's a real
it's a big field
sticking to the ground. I mean,
it's a big field sport. I remember the days when I used to run around the pitch back when I was 6-7 years old, and it's a big field sport back then.
Mm-hmm.
Look at it now, and these girls are out there grinding and they're getting after it, and you really like to see them have more payoff when they're going in with their with the wins in the conference and whatnot. I mean, I was incorrect. They're 1-3 in conference right now. If they can turn themselves into hopefully finishing around 500, that's such a big step in the right direction. I think they finished with 2 wins last year. If they could top that, that'd be outrageous.
Who's been a big sleeper for them that is Eliza. Eliza's been playing a lot this year compared to her last couple of years that she's been playing in.
Make sure you introduce it. What? So if you need an interview with Coach, there's one right there for you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Thank you. We actually have pulled up some interview with Coach Scroop after the 2-0 LMU loss, and she just accounted what she thought was the game and how they're going to attack the next game following.
Coach, on a rainy, cold afternoon, Pacific Tigers seem to be really up to the task against the LMU Lions tonight. Talk about their performance.
Yeah, I mean, people need to look at our conference and see what we're playing against. We had them pinned in that first 35 minutes, and it was like shooting. I mean, we put the shots up. We just couldn't find a way in. I think if one of those goes in, it's changed the game tremendously. But I mean,
I'm not trying to get this personal with you.
Mel to come in and step in with Lena being a little down and out right now. Kenny B played excellent on the outside, and then
so keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on where the interview that. Also, get ready for your
but
first break.
I just think the progress of them overall coming.
You probably should be taking a break right after this interview, so kind of go into that mode to say, hey, there's more to come right here on the Gonzo and Yeti show. You are Gonzo and Yeti. There is to you. There is 209 Sports is your counterpart. So you are today is the Gonzo and Yeti show.
I think they've come a long way. We're going to be fun to watch come down the stretch.
How do I get the
talk a little bit about the bench depth? It seems like we've seen a few other girls starting to get more. You could have waited stuff like Bianca and a few others. Can you talk about the way that the bench is really starting to play out throughout the season?
Yeah, I mean, we're really trying to just get some more action up front with the forwards. So we kind of got a cycle going. If you notice, every 20 minutes we're throwing in 2 new forwards. Maddie's finally getting healthy, which is helpful to us. She's been hurt a lot of the season. Sam's coming back from injury and from playing in Egypt. I don't know if you guys know that she's part of the national team, so that's pretty huge. She just came back from that tour. You got Jess Vogel stepping up, coming in, adding some offense for us. So we're just trying to get a cycle a little bit going, trying to get rest on the legs. I mean, Taylor Ayers, we moved her back from forward to right mid for us, and she's really giving us some good offense too. So it's just that, being a first-year coach and getting the mix and figuring out what players can offer for you is huge, and just finding the right formation. I think we found it now. We just got to find a way to put that ball away.
And Coach, on a rainy, cold day, you didn't have to go.
Coach showing the positivity as always, as being a great leading coach she is. I feel it's really tough for the women's soccer coach to keep such a positive mindset with the record they're at right now. But I mean, she's doing everything she can. I think all she really needs, Lucas, is maybe a couple more years of a new recruiting class to come in, because I mean, the girls she's already brought in this year has already made a huge adjustment for him, and the culture you can tell from the team is already changing, like definitely, especially in the weight room. I know they were in there sometimes before we're in there, and you can tell that the environment is just different. I just think now it's all about the talent, and then them just coming out of the new lifestyle coaching of the new women's coach.
I completely agree, Jordan. I think everything you just said is spot on.
Yeah. So we're going to take a quick break here. And when we come back, we will get started with Pacific Women's Volleyball and their great weekend against St. Mary's. So you are listening to Yeti and Gordon, and we will come back with that.
WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. Take one.
Behold the angry giant.
Try it again, Alberto.
Behold the angry giant.
Perfect. Good luck tonight.
Behold the angry giant.
Yay! Read me another one, Dad.
This is WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes two. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese.
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Wanting to take your fantasy football lineup to the next level? For beginners and the advanced players, listen to Fantasy Football Classroom every Tuesday and Thursday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. JD, Jeff Dominic.
Odell Beckham, I mean, where has he been? He was highly regarded as one of the top, I'm going to say top 5 wide receivers picked in the majority of fantasy football leagues. And he has been, I mean, heck, I'd much rather have Victor Cruz right now than him. Here's the other thing about Sammy Coates is that he's a good player to stash. This is coming from Mark Leong, our third member, who, like I said, he'll be back here hopefully next week. He now has five games of 40 or more yards. So there's somebody there.
Professor Stephen Farias.
Dak Prescott, he's got a good running game. He might have Dez back this week. He might not, but he's still going to go underneath. He's got Cole Beasley, Jason Witten, likes to throw that underneath pass. He's going to get you a ton of completions.
Listen to Fantasy Football Classroom every Tuesday and Thursday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Pacific Tiger Radio 91.9 FM.
If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, troubled teenagers, a thief, or anyone else who might misuse it. Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Remember, always, lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
Go Caleb! Come on, hit a homer, Jesse!
Let's go, guys!
Hey, did you guys know that kids who play sports earn more money when they grow up?
Of course. I knew that.
Hey, did you guys know that kids who read books have a bigger vocabulary?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Wow, jinx. Did you guys know that friendly children have more friends?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's true. I knew that. Did you guys know that winter babies are better at music?
Everyone knows that.
Oh, yeah?
It's pretty obvious.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
obvious.
Oh, hey, guys, did you know that most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Huh, didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure I knew that.
I'm pretty sure you didn't.
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right car seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to make sure your child is protected. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You are listening to the Yeti and Gonzo Show on 91.9 FM, part of Pacific Tiger Sports on the University of Pacific campus. I am Joy Gonzalez, and to my left is Lucas Halstead. Thank you for tuning in. Lucas, how you doing?
Good. How are you, Jordan?
Good. Let's get started on women's volleyball and their boat race of play this weekend. Again, surprise, surprise, not really. Lexi Ellman records another double-double with 10 kills and 20 digs, as well as Andy Shelton added 8 kills and 17 assists. The freshmen are again proving why they were such a highly recruited class, while Emily Baptista, Ashlyn Fleming, and Skylar Wine chipped in 5 kills, while Fleming tallied 8 kills and Baptista tallied 8 kills as well. Jess Diedrich, another sleeper on the team, ran the offense with Diedrich posting a game-high 24 assists. Now, I think this is such a good thing to see because Jess, her first 2 years, Kimmy Whitson was the star player in her position, and Jess has had to learn. Jess has had to know when her time was going to be, and when her time came around, she was ready. And I think she's proven to be a real leader on the court and off the court as well because, she's a perfect example. Redshirted, didn't play her first 2 years, but was a student of the game and constantly learning, and now she's one of their best players, and I think her and Sheldon are doing great things, and the reason why Pacific has such a high chance of making the tournament.
Absolutely. I think that what's so valuable with them is having Jess and Dietrich and Shelton. Andy Shelton's so versatile. She can hit for them. She can set for them. The girl's got the highest road on the team. And you also have a great setter in Jess. It allows you to, as a coach, with Coach Gibbons, he does a great job at moving it around. You can have Shelton hitting, and you can have Jess in there as a wonderful setter. And she's, like you said, they've learned from Kimmy Whitson. Andy Shelton redshirted last year too, and she got to learn a lot in her redshirt year, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
She got to see a great player like Kimmy Whitson and how they approach the game. And I think that as Andy entered her second year of eligibility, Jess being her third year of eligibility, they've gotten the experience. They've had a redshirt year, each of them. They understand how to play the game now, and I think that's so huge in having these other freshmen on the field. Baptista, Skylar Wine, Fleming. They're very young, but they're also very talented, and I can speak to that personally. Being freshmen on the baseball team, when I came in, I had players like Brett Sullivan, Tyler Sullivan, Gio Brusa, guys who I could look up to and see how they approach their daily game, and that routine helped me so much. I think we can listen in live here to a interview with Emily Baptista and Jess Dietrich.
And talk about tonight's performance. Just all around, everyone just seemed to be really getting involved, especially from set one, really taking the full advantage of of St. Mary's errors. I think that everybody just seemed to really kind of click tonight.
Yeah, I think really our passing did really well so that our setters could really spread the ball out and just keep all of our attackers involved in the game. And we were all working really hard to put the ball down. And I know our setters were doing a really good job, putting the blockers on the other side so that we had holes so we can just kind of go in there and do our thing, hit as hard as we can and see what we can do with it. But I really think that the setters did a really good job tonight, spreading it around. I think that really helped us sweep them.
Talk a little bit about your season so far. It's been kind of an up and down, but at the same time, it's been very consistent as we kind of see you throughout the season. Talk a little bit about that and how has everyone kind of helped you out throughout this season?
I think that every game we kind of learn something. If it's a loss, then we'll be we could have done this and we're going to do this, and then we just go back and practice and just work on those things. And if we have a win, we're always we did this really good or this really good. So it just really taking everything from each game and going into practice and working on it or making it better, just to get everything all clicked and working like a machine so that we can be really consistent against the bigger teams in our conference and just to work on the small things.
Jessica, talk a little bit about the way that you're kind of getting into the form of the Pacific Tiger way and the transition that you're becoming a regular setter for this team.
It's really exciting to be on the court, first of all, but I think tonight we have to get handed to our passers to start because it was really easy as setters to see the blockers on the other side and to be able to spread it, and it's easy to trust everyone on this team as hitters go because we know if we see the blockers go one way, I can just throw it back to Andy now, or if I see them go back, I can throw it out to Emily, and it's easy. They just put it away.
How huge was it, once again, as I I've asked a few other players so far, I mean, how huge was it to get a 3-set victory off of St. Mary's, and the way that this just seems to be a really good victory tonight?
Yeah, it says a lot about our team that we can bounce back after that BYU match, and I think it's really good for us going forward within this next week. We have 2 big matches against USF and Santa Clara, and right now it's up in the air with our conference, and if we compete every game, I know that we'll finish strong.
I'll ask both at the same time now. Just how has the WCC conference been for you this season?
It's been a roller coaster for sure. We saw Portland beat BYU and we handled them earlier, and it just goes to show it's the team that shows up with the momentum and really sticks it through that can pull out a game.
Yeah, I agree. I think just like it's a lot of fun because every game is a fight. Every team in this conference, it could go either way. It's just whoever shows up and who wants to play more and who wants to win.
And I don't think they could have said it any better than that. Jess is proving why she is a leader on this team. I think Coach Gibbons is doing a great job of mixing in Shelton and Jess together because they're both so versatile and so athletic on the court that they just make such a huge impact while playing. And I mean, Andy Shelton, I mean, the way coaches on Pacific say that she probably is, if not one of the best women athletes at the school now. And I mean, she can do anything. She can serve, she can spike, she can dig. She's all over the court. I mean, she's a freak of an athlete. And I mean, Jess, it's just crazy to see how well she's playing now after, not really being part of the team for the past 3 years. But she let that get to her head. And she's being a huge asset in these last few games, wins for them. And it just goes to show that, I'm glad Coach Gibbons now is able to see that because she's killing it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I think it also, what we haven't mentioned is number 8, Katrin Gotterba, she's been a catalyst for that team, just setting up their offense by playing good defense. Liberos usually don't get enough credit. That's what I've been told. Obviously, I don't play volleyball, but after hearing just some of the girls talk about it, liberos don't get enough credit, and you don't usually see many All-American liberos, but if they did give the position of All-American, I think we might have one on our hands with Katrin. She's athletic, she's insane, and I think she's really complemented well by Andy Shelton being a great setter and Jess being a great setter, and that just sets it up for the freshmen, and that takes a lot of stress off the freshmen, having them have such a good core of older players like Jess, like Andy, like Katrin. Those girls help them, and Lex, I'm sorry I didn't mention Lexi Elman. Those girls calm down the freshmen and let their true potential come out, and you just can't give them enough credit. I really think Coach Gibbons is doing a great job too. I know the Tigers they're over 500. I think they are not 15. They're now 8-2. What's their record? 11-9 overall. I'm sorry, 5-3 in WCC play. And then they did sweep St. Mary's, if we haven't mentioned that. That gives them a really good shot to set themselves up. They've already played BYU and USD once. USD is 5 in the country. And BYU is number 11. That gives them a good shot to then bring them back home and see how they're going to react when they come to the 209.
I agree, Lucas. It's going to send any better. Well, it is the top of the hour, so we must take a break. But when we come back, we will discuss men's water polo and their huge win as well, as Pacific had a great weekend this weekend. So you are listening to Yeti and the Gonzo Show on 91.9 FM, part of Pacific Tigers Sports, the University of Pacific Campus. I am Dorian Gonzalez, and to my left is Lucas Halstead. Thank you for tuning in.
You're listening to DPAC. Stop it. 91.9.
Right now.
Only Pacific Tigers.
If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, troubled teenagers, a thief, or anyone else. Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Remember, always, lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
Today in school, I learned a lot. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me. In biology, I learned that I'm fat and stupid. In English, I learned that I'm disgusting. And in gym, I learned that I'm pathetic and a joke. The only thing I didn't learn in school today is why no one ever helps.
Kids witness bullying every day.
They want to help, but they don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
Can you tell if the leftovers from this dinner party are beginning to grow bacteria that could lead to severe diarrhea, vomiting, and stomach cramps? Listen. You can't see it either. Get leftovers into the refrigerator as soon as possible. Spoiled leftovers can make you very sick, or worse. Roughly 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year, but you can keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him opening his own clothing store at the age of 18? 1 in 138,000. Excited to be a part of pop culture, he packed for the big city. The odds of finding someone to invest in his vision? 1 in 4.5 million. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. I encourage you to learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Do you have troubled skin, acne? With Proactive, you can heal your acne and help prevent new breakouts. Right now, in this radio area, we're looking for just 50 people with moderate acne to demonstrate exactly how fast Proactive works. The first 50 callers who qualify can try Proactive risk-free for 60 days.
Call 800-388-7152, 800-388-7152, 800-388-7152.
Great party, huh, guys? Yeah,
it is. So much fun.
I do say so myself. Hey, did you know that birthday parties actually help build confidence in kids?
Yeah, I did know that.
Did you know that giving kids less sugar before bedtime helps them sleep better?
Right, of course.
Yeah, I knew that. Did you know that strollers have the right of way on sidewalks?
Oh yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, that's true. Did you know that friendly kids statistically have more friends?
Everyone knows that.
Oh yeah?
It's pretty obvious.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
obvious.
Hey, guys, did you know that most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
I didn't know that.
Think I knew that.
No, you didn't.
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right car seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to make sure your child is protected. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
And welcome back. You are listening to the Yeti and Gonzo Show on 91.9 FM, part of Pacific Tiger Sports on the University of Pacific campus. I am Jordan Gonzalez, and to my left is the one and only Lucas Halstead. Thank you for tuning in. Now on to Pacific Men's Water Polo, and proving why they are indeed the number 4 sports team, or number 4 men's water polo team in the country. They took on number 14 Washington, Colonials, Thursday at 7 p.m. And, oh wait, no. Wait a minute here. I'm messing this up. Oh, wait, yes they did. They played Colonials on Thursday at 7 p.m. and they took Cal on at Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific has won 65 consecutive games against opponents outside the MPSF dating back to 2009. The Tigers are now 87-11 under head coach James Grand against teams outside the current and former conference. The Tigers also have won 29 straight against teams on the East Coast and is 49-9 all-time against Eastern opponents. Pacific is proving why they're just dominating. I know my freshman year here when they took on USC, and I mean, they obliterated them. It's all about momentum with men's water polo. Tim Reeves is proving why he's a huge captain. He had a career best 6 goals, most since Tigers Balas, and he ended up being the He ended up winning, scoring 7 in the 2013 National Championship game, and Balas ended up being the National Player of the Year for Pacific Water Polo, 2-timer. So Tim Reeves is doing a great job of keeping the name going on, and he's just doing a great job.
Absolutely. Like Jordan said, the number 4 team in the country, they eventually host number 14, George Washington, and number 2, Cal. Cal's a powerhouse. Anything in the Pac-12 for water polo is just absolutely unbelievable. Pacific is right up there with them, with the USCs, the UCLAs, and Californias. It's going to be a grind of a week. Big fan of Tim Reeves as he heads into his 3rd year as a Pacific Tiger. They've been a powerhouse for, 7-8 years now, where Pacific has just been putting out plenty of national team players, plenty of players from Austria, Hungary, and they've just been outstanding. Their recruiting is unbelievable. Their atmosphere at the games is unbelievable. They play with passion, and it's just a fun time. If you ever get a chance to go out to the pool, definitely recommend it. They host George Washington Thursday at 7 and Cal Sunday at 7. It'll be a good time. I'm going to try to make it out.
Now, the biggest win, I think, this weekend for Pacific was definitely, without a doubt, Pacific Women's Field Hockey, as they had a rematch against Stanford in which they were unsuccessful the first time, but the second time Pacific came out as the victor. Like I said last week, I believe the Pacific crowd and the momentum of being at home was going to be a huge, crucial advantage for us, and it ended up proving off to be the reason why. And I mean, Stanford is unreal. Their defense was incredible. They held us hard all game, and they played great defense, so they had nothing to hang their heads about. But I mean, we have one of the best players in the conference, and that's why Sav Burns scored the way she did. She dominated like she has all year, and she's the leader and the captain, and she's been just doing her thing.
Absolutely. Like Jordan said, Savannah Burns is a stud. So is Krike. She's unbelievable as well. They're scoring at an incredible rate, and that shows that they're 11-4. They're 2-1 in conference, and I just don't think it's going to turn back for them. They've gotten past that hump. They've beaten Stanford. They played them twice. They had a huge win against Davis. No one talks about that win at Davis, but that was a momentum changer.
I thought Davis was going to be more of an upset. Not an upset, more of a beating, not going to lie.
Yeah, 3-2 match. That was it got a little sketchy, a little hairy, but I mean, a 3-2 win is good, and especially going in with how much they've been scoring. Usually Pacific this season has been scoring at an incredible rate. They've had plenty of games that are 5 goals up to 11 goals, and even 12. And that's the kind of team they are, but they showed they can do it in the little wins. They can do it 3-2. They can do it 1-0, and that shows how good of a team they actually are. They won the conference last year. They're looking to repeat that again.
And another player I feel that sometimes may get overlooked is the goalie, Laura Pata. She had 4 saves, crucial game-saving saves, and she has been outrageously good for Pacific since she first got here. And I mean, she's such an athlete, left and right, and I mean, she's a huge reason why the Pacific was even able to score and stay in the game because she held Stanford.
She's been a grinder this entire season. She's been playing almost every single minute, and she's just tough as nails back there. We actually have an interview with her now.
Lauren, knowing that you had a tough match against Stanford, now you got them on your home turf. How did that feel to get a shutout going?
This was awesome. It's just like last year, exactly the same day. And even though it's pouring rain and it was a really intense and hard game, we beat them and we scored 1 goal. And now we have the chance to win this conference, and we couldn't be more excited about it.
Talk about the last 10 minutes. There were a lot of shots on goals, especially that last. The timer went down, and all of a sudden you just had 2 attempts that were going to go against you. What was the thought process, and knowing that your team defense was going to hold up?
All I was thinking is we get the ball and we clear it out, we just and then we celebrate it. But right now we're right here and we just got to put the work in, and we did it. I don't know, the defense was outstanding, and I think we all worked together and really hard. And I don't know, the result is what it is. That's what happens when we work together and we work hard.
What kind of momentum do you feel when Cal's coming in here next week on Friday? You got a lot of going on for you now.
Yeah, I mean, we're excited. After this win, this is a really big win for us. So now we feel like we can beat any team right now. We just beat the number 15 in the nation, so that's for us, it's really big. So now playing against Cal, it's gonna be a really good game too. It's a really good team. So we're just gonna put everything we have on the field to get the W too.
And that is Lauda, being the positive and energetic person she is, showing why Pacific is this dominating. It is crazy to say because there was 13 shots on Pacific's own goal, And I mean, 5 saves is unreal. And what's crazy is that the craziest part about it is that no one scored in the first half. So I mean, both teams probably went into the half just thinking, man, like if we score, if we can hold them, we're going to win this game. And I mean, Sav came out hot in the second half, and she was able to score. And I think that was a huge momentum builder for Pacific because they knew this wasn't going to be a high-scoring game. Both teams' defense was extremely, extremely high. And with the fact that Sav jumping in and making the score and being a leader, that was a crucial point of the game, the reason why they were able to hold them and stop them, because they didn't need to score again. All they needed was hold them from there.
Absolutely. And I want to touch back on the goalie, Laura. She is outstanding. You heard her there speak, and I can't even get over, like, how much of a rock she is. That last 10 minutes was insane, and she was a rock behind that goal. She let nothing pass. She's a leader for them as a team. She works her butt off, and I just think that as a team, like she said, the conference is in reach, and they have a great chance. They have Cal coming up and Davis again. Then they have Cal again, and if they can just continue to keep that momentum, keep up that energy that they have, they're going to head into the American East tournament, and I feel like they're going to do a lot of damage.
I mean, Lada has 41 saves this year. 41 already. Does
that check out as a record?
Nah, I don't know. She had 110 last year. So
maybe not. Maybe set the record last year.
I mean, 950 minutes this year. That's ridiculous. I mean, she's just giving it out every day if she can. But with 41 saves, she's just doing it. I mean, Pacific's 11-4. That's unreal. Last year they finished 11-8. So
yeah, and they won the American East Championship. Yeah. And I think that speaks to her defense. Would she have 900 saves last year?
Yeah. No.
900 minutes.
Yeah. 110 saves.
110 saves last year, 41 this year. They're
119 as a sophomore.
119 as a sophomore.
Yeah.
I think that shows a lot to Pacific's field hockey defense.
Yeah. The shots on goal.
Yeah, not a lot of shots on goal. She's got a great save percentage. There's a lot of shots taken, and you can see all these shutouts that you look at their results, and they have shutout, 2-1, 2-1 shutout, and that just shows a lot as a goalie. The same thing goes for soccer. As more shutouts you have, the more dominant of a team you are.
Kat Egan's been huge for the defense part of it, saving a lot of, making her not having to work so hard. Egan has been playing a great defense for them, and I mean, yeah, she may be small, but she's a grinder. She gets in there well.
Absolutely.
So I will take us to break here. As we come back, we will discuss Pacific Men's Alumni Weekend. And all of the ex-alums came back and played a nice game against the Pacific Tigers Now players. So you are listening to the Yeti and Gonza Show on 91.9 FM, part of Pacific Tigers Sports here at Pacific Campus. I am Jordan Gonzalez. To my left is Lucas Halstead. Thank you for tuning in.
Today in school, I learned a lot. In chemistry, I learned that no one likes me. In biology, I learned that I'm fat and stupid. In English, I learned that I'm disgusting. And in gym, I learned that I'm pathetic and a joke. The only thing I didn't learn in school today is why no one ever helps.
Kids witness bullying every day. They want to help, but they don't know how. Teach them how to stop bullying and be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
Can you tell if the leftovers from this dinner party are beginning to grow bacteria that could lead to severe diarrhea, vomiting, and stomach cramps? Listen. You can't see it either. Get leftovers into the refrigerator as soon as possible. Spoiled leftovers can make you very sick, or worse. Roughly 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year, but you can keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
Confessions of a Potentially Perfect Parent, brought to you by AdoptUsKids.org.
I know more about cooking dinner for a party of 12 than about packing a lunch for a 12-year-old. I know kids like things like fish sticks. Fillets, I get, but sticks? Maybe we can just compromise on mac and cheese. Can you make that with Brie?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you. Call 1-888-200-4005 or visit AdoptUsKids.org for more information. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Did you know that birthday parties help build confidence in kids?
Yeah. Did you know that giving kids less sugar before bedtime helps them sleep better?
Oh, totally. Did you know that friendly kids have more friends?
Everybody knows that.
Hey, guys, did you know that most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
I didn't know that.
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right car seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to make sure your child is protected. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Take an ordinary putty knife and scrape off the old wax ring. Place the new wax ring over the flange, then line up the bolts with the bowl and gently set in place, making sure a proper seal is created with the flange and drain. Next.
Dad?
Yeah, sweetie.
Is that an old plumbing manual?
Oh, yeah, honey.
We really need to get some new books.
Right, do you want me to stop?
Nah, I kinda wanna know how it ends.
Okay. Tighten the bolts, line up the flushing valve to the opening in the top of the bowl, and secure the tank with a screwdriver and crescent wrench.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
In 50 feet, turn left. Why are you driving so slowly?
After a few drinks, I'm taking it slow.
Well, you're not fooling the cop behind you.
What?
Get ready to pay in 0.1 miles.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
You are listening to the Yeti and Gonzo Show on 91.9 FM for the Pacific Tiger Sports on the University of the Pacific campus. I am Jordan Gonzalez, and to my left is Lucas Halstead. Thank you for tuning in to the Yeti and Gonzo Show. Now, this weekend was a huge weekend for Pacific men's baseball as the fellow alumni came back to the old stomping grounds and got to take on the current Pacific Tiger baseball players in an alumni game that was at 12 o'clock this Saturday. And I know it was a really good time for our team and the fellow alum to, be able to see everybody because, as a team, you play 56 games together and you spend a whole fall.
More than that.
More than that, yeah. 56 games together in a season, but, you don't forget about the fall. You spend a whole fall together, a whole spring. Like Lucas said in past shows, I get tired of seeing him every day because I'm with him sometimes 24 hours throughout the day. I just want to go to bed without having to look at his face for 10 minutes. But yeah, it was really good to see players such as Jimmy Gassano, Mike Hager, John Haberman, Jason Tosses, Kyle Crawford, all which are huge role models to me when I was a freshman here for sure. These guys just brought a lot of fun and excitement to the game and just showed us how to be a Pacific Tiger and how to be a Pacific baseball player and how to go about things the right way and the right work ethic. And they just brought a lot of excitement to the team when I was here. I miss those guys every day because they were my best friends. So it sucks because it's almost like I just lost a family member and I get to see them, once out of the fall now. So hopefully I get to see those guys again very soon because, I miss them. They were huge roles in my freshman year and when we were one game away from finishing second in the top 4 conference.
Absolutely. I think it's great to see the alumni come back, and I think it's also fun for them. There's some old dogs out there. There's some guys who are in their mid-40s, and they come out there and they get to play again. And it's a great experience. A lot of guys who get to play in the alumni game, they look forward to it every year. 364 days out of that year, they're looking forward to the next alumni game. And it's a great time to see these guys because a lot of these guys, not only were they players with us, they were also, some of them were coaches. Mike Walker was out there. Nick Longmire was out there last year. It was great to see those guys, and I can speak personally that they were huge in my development as a player. It's fun to see how they turned out as well. A lot of them are doing really well for themselves, and it kind of gives you a feel where you can do after you were a Pacific baseball player. It's just a flat-out blast to be out there. And then after that, we actually got our first scrimmage of the fall, and that was great too. Very productive. We look good out there, and I'm really excited for this season.
Yeah, it was really good. Really good fall. As you don't know, we also had our own scrimmage against each other that took place 3 o'clock right after the alumni game. So it was nice for the alumni because they were able to see the current players play and get a nice feel for what was going on with our team now as they are moved on with their own lives. And I mean, it was good. It showed a lot of guys. It tested a lot of guys, the new guys. Like I said, we had 20 guys coming in this fall, so we were able to see a lot of aspects of their game and what was good and what they needed to improve on. So it was fun. It was just, this Friday, if you guys are not aware, will be the first Friday night scrimmage under the lights for Pacific Men's Baseball. That will partake at 5 o'clock this Friday, as well as 12 o'clock this Saturday. So if you're not doing anything, the gates are free.
Come out to Klein Family Field.
It's open. It's free, open to the public, and you'll be able to see some good baseball under the lights, and it will be nice. But enough of that. Let's talk what we have in store for the week coming up.
First things first, the 20th, I believe that is a Thursday, Santa Clara versus Pacific women's volleyball. Big match. This is going to be Santa Clara is the first time they play them in conference. They will eventually be playing them again. Huge match for them. And like we said earlier, men's water polo against number 14, George Washington, 7 p.m.
Under the lights, which is a different experience. It'd be pretty cool to see.
Absolutely, yeah. Kind of a cool little environment seeing water polo under the lights, and it'll be a blast if you come out. That's at the pool.
Also, women's soccer takes on San Diego at 7.
That's the 21st.
Oh, that's the 27th.
21st.
Nope. Oh, I am wrong. You are right. Women's soccer takes on is at Portland, though.
Mm-hmm.
So be sure to tune in, watch online. This is a huge game for them. This could be a huge momentum builder for them because Portland's ranked top 25 every year. So if Pacific Women's Soccer can go into Oregon and take the game from them, that would just be a huge momentum builder for them continuing on conference because Portland is usually the big dog on campus for them.
Absolutely. They're always just a powerhouse, men's or women's. They also have women's field hockey versus California at 3 p.m. on that same day. That'll be a nice little double ditch. You go field hockey, then you can go right on over to the pitch over at Knowles Field and watch the soccer game. That sounds like a good time to me. Women's tennis is playing the ITA Northwest Regionals at Stanford in Palo Alto. If you don't get a chance, check it online. Follow the Pacific Twitter account. That's where you'll find it.
Another big game will be women's field hockey taking on Cal. This is a huge rival of ours in the conference, and our very own JD Jeff Dominic will be calling the field hockey match Friday at 3 p.m. Be sure to go out there and show your support. This could be another huge momentum builder for Pacific field hockey going into the conference, as they had just come out of a huge win against number 8 Stanford 1-0. So if they can take this one too, who knows what can happen for the rest of the season.
This Sunday, something else to touch on. The women's tennis regionals will also still be going on. Like I said, check in on Twitter. But women's volleyball versus USF San Francisco, 12 p.m. That's going to be a big match, like I said, with Santa Clara. It's going to be the last time they're going to see them in conference the first go-about. They will eventually be traveling to Santa Clara and San Francisco. That will allow them to take USD and BYU to home. That's going to be big for them as we move on.
He's right. Also, guys, bring family, friends, whoever. Don't just, show up by yourself. Keep the community of Stockton going. This is a huge community that supports Pacific, and the more people we can get out there, be better.
Support the 209.
Yeah. So that should do it for the Yeti and Gonzo show this evening. Lucas, would you like to bring us out, or should I bring us out?
Bring us out, Jordan.
You are listening to the Yeti and Gonzo show on 91.9 FM, part of Pacific Tiger Sports Show on the University of Pacific campus. I am Jordan Gonzalez. To my left is Lucas Halstead. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him opening his own clothing store at the age of 18? 1 in 138,000. Excited to be a part of pop culture, he packed for the big city. The odds of finding someone to invest in his vision? 1 in 4.5 million. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. I encourage you to learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Take an ordinary putty knife and scrape off the old wax ring. Place the new wax ring over the flange, then line up the bolts with the bowl and gently set in place, making sure a proper seal is created with the flange and drain. Next.
Dad?
Yeah, sweetie.
Is that an old plumbing manual?
Oh, yeah, honey.
We really need to get some new books.
Right, do you want me to stop?
Nah, I kinda wanna know how it ends.
Okay. Tighten the bolts, line up the flushing valve to the opening in the top of the bowl, and secure the tank with a screwdriver and crescent wrench.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
The result is for the team. It's not for myself, so it's good for us to, win, grind it out. Even though we didn't play the prettiest of football, he gave me the opportunity to play Division I soccer, which is what I wanted to do my whole life. It's a goal of mine to reach my dream of playing professional, and he has made me the smartest footballer I can be.
That's what I want to see. Like, everyone wants to see that confidence.
Como 2.340.000 sonrisas, 28.800 besos de buenos días,
Buenos días.
110 viajes increíbles y unas copas. Hay una vida entera de su compañía que su familia no podrá disfrutar, todo porque él decidió manejar después de tomar unas copas y murió en un choque. No pierdas tanto por culpa de tan poco. Manejar medio tomado es igual que manejar borracho. Un mensaje del Departamento de Transporte de Estados Unidos y de Ad Council.
Come on, hit a homer, Jesse!
Let's go, guys!
Hey, did you guys know that kids who play sports earn more money when they grow up?
Of course. I knew that.
Hey, did you guys know that kids who read books have a bigger vocabulary?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Wow, jinx. Did you guys know that friendly children have more friends?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's true. I knew that. Did you guys know that winter babies are better at music?
Everyone knows that.
Oh, yeah?
It's pretty obvious.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
obvious.
Oh, hey, guys, did you know that most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Huh, I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure I knew that.
I'm pretty sure you didn't.
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right car seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. Take one.
Behold the angry giant.
Try it again, Alberto.
Behold the angry giant.
Perfect. Good luck tonight.
Behold the angry giant.
Another one, Dad.
This is WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human
¿Es una cosa, papá? Nunca olvidaré ese día. El nido en mi garganta, la tensión en mis manos y la emoción que sentía hasta que me caí de esa bici. Lo que más recuerdo es cuando me abrazaste y el dolor se me quitó. Gracias, papá.
Nunca se sabe cuáles recuerdos son para siempre. Toma el tiempo y hoy sé un buen papá. Para información marca el 1877-432-3411 o visítanos en www.fatherhood.gov. Mensaje del Departamento de Salud y Servicios Humanos de los Estados Unidos y el Ad Council.
It's 6:42 p.m. Time for Steve Plato and his son Dylan to do the dishes. They talk about everything from the yuckiness of girls to the awesomeness of his soccer team. Sometimes they don't talk at all. Then, hey! The dreaded splash fight. It's Dad o'clock, and it's the best time of the day. Because the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You are a waste.
A loser. Everyone hates you. Why don't you just stay in your car and keep driving? I'm serious. Drive until you run out of gas, then get out of your car and walk until you find someone who doesn't think you're dumber than bricks. Could take a while, but at least all that walking might burn a couple of calories.
You may not witness bullying like this every day. Your kids do. They want to help, but they don't know how. Visit stopbullying.gov to learn safe, simple ways your child can help stop bullying. Be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
Wanting to take your fantasy football lineup to the next level? For beginners and the advanced players, listen to Fantasy Football Classroom every Tuesday and Thursday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. JD, Jeff Dominic.
Odell Beckham, I mean, where has he been? He was highly regarded as one of the top, I'm going to say top 5 wide receivers picked in the majority of fantasy football leagues. And he has been, I'd much rather have Victor Cruz right now than him. Here's the other thing about Sammy Coates is that he's a good player to stash. This is coming from Mark Leong, our third member. Like I said, he'll be back here hopefully next week. He now has five games of 40 or more yards. Mm-hmm. So there's somebody there.
Professor Stephen Farias.
Dak Prescott, he's got a good running game. He might have Dez back this week. He might not, but he's still going to go underneath. He's got Cole Beasley, Jason Witten, likes to throw that underneath pass. He's going to get you a ton of completions.
Listen to Fantasy Football Classroom every Tuesday and Thursday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Pacific Tiger Radio 91.9 FM.
Welcome back to 209 Sports Talk here on the Pacific Tiger Radio Network, 91.9 FM. Thank you all for tuning in today. I am JD Jeff Dominic. Hope you all enjoyed the Yeti and Gonzo show that will be starting on Wednesdays from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. right here on the Pacific Tiger Radio Network, 91.9. But in the meantime, we are back. We are 209 Sports. We are from this point on Tuesdays from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. And it is always a pleasure to allow me to introduce my current co-host. Currently, Mark is in the middle of fixing a few things, making sure everything's dialed in. But my other co-host to my right is none other than the number 0 for the University of Pacific men's basketball team, junior guard Malik Haynes. What's up, man? Welcome to the show, and always glad to have you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So you had an opportunity, and the Gonzo and Yeti, the Yeti and Gonzo show. I keep on wanting to call it Gonzo and Yeti. It's Yeti and Gonzo. Once again, they will be playing from Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. Hate to see them leave, but at the same time, I'm excited for the opportunity that they've been given. But it also gives me the opportunity to have Malik Haynes on a regular basis to be able to be really involved in the show, and that's really what I wanted. I wanted him to get. I think we've started to see more and more of you over the last week or so, a couple of weeks that you've been very much more involved. But the guys that left, they were talking about the women's volleyball team. This was huge for them. I don't think people are kind of realizing on how big this win was, winning in straight sets, and the way that they pretty much handled. They handled. Yeah, they handled.
They dominated. Yeah.
And I think that knowing that this is they got a 3-match home stretch they're in the middle of now. With that being, they just finished off with St. Mary's. This can be extremely huge, especially on on Thursday. They need this win.
Right.
I think that it's hard to say that everything must be a must-win, but you definitely should beat the teams that you already have beaten. In this case, Santa Clara is one of those teams.
Yeah, I mean, when you beat a team once before and you know you can beat them easily, you have to do that the next time also. Home or away, it doesn't matter if they're playing at Santa Clara or at Pacific or even at a neutral site or anywhere, they should handle them, and they did a good job of that.
So last year, one thing that I was really harping on, last year Pacific women's volleyball did not have a winning record at home, and that's hard to do. I mean, if you're not winning at home, but you still had a winning record away,
right?
But when you're not winning at home, that's huge, and I think they pretty much solidified a winning record at home with an 8-4 current mark. What I was saying is that the wins at home, you need those, and especially a conference like this. And Malik, you're very familiar with this conference.
Right.
Some of them you have huge heated rivalries. I wouldn't say hatred rivalries, but a lot of heated rivalries. Yeah. And so as well as these girls know, as well as pretty much anybody else that's really associated with the University of Pacific, on how huge these matchups are and critical that. Every little win, albeit that you're seeing them twice a year, every little win is huge.
Yeah, I mean, to speak off what you said earlier, having a home winning record is huge because you always want to protect home court. You don't want to let any team come in and beat you on your home turf, in front of your home fans, in front of your family, in front of your friends. You just don't want to do that. But that's excellent, them going on the road and having a winning record, though, because going on the road is hard to do. I mean, it's your team against the whole entire school, pretty much, against the whole other school. So that's great on the road, coming together as a team and winning on the road. But we do have to protect home court, and we're doing a much better job of that this year.
So, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you were here when I was mentioning about the women's volleyball team, and maybe it was time to really focus on the middles a little bit more, and they needed to maybe kind of transition to show their strength of being the middles being huge. But I think we saw something on this last weekend on Saturday against St. Mary's that maybe it's not necessarily the middles that are the only thing, but I think it has to be a little bit more of a huge team effort, and that starts obviously with Lexi Elman, the senior captain. She's always going to be that person where everyone's going to look at. But I think that with her getting 10 kills, everyone's getting a little bit of a piece of the pie.
Right.
I think it's if everyone's running on all cylinders, it's okay. So, looking at this matchup, going against Santa Clara, you got to be very careful with, do they need to be especially coming from a guard. This is going to be, I think this is going to be really able to be playing into your court.
Right.
That everyone kind of gets that piece, or do we need to, in this case, maybe the matchup needs to be in the middle. Let your bigs handle it.
I mean, you always have like your star players, and that's going to be, obviously Lexi and looks like the freshman
Ashlyn Fleming.
Ashley, yeah.
WCC Player of the Week.
Yeah, she's coming on as a star also. But when I was watching the game, I looked at the scoreboard and I seen 7 kills, 6 kills, 5 kills, just down the board. And when you have a whole team effort like that, this will happen. You dominate the team and you win 3-0. So it's always good to have a team effort, but when the team isn't doing as good, you always have to look to your star players to pick everyone else up.
So this is Malik was just mentioning. So Andy Shelton, 8 kills and 17, or she's 17 assists because she's also a setter. I was looking at something a little bit off. She also had assisted in 3 blocks. Janie Felcher, 7 kills.
All right.
She also had 4 blocks, and she considers herself an undersized middle.
Right.
I mean, yeah, she's 6 foot tall, which to me is tall, but still, it's 6 foot. Yeah, I guess I can get it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she is considered an undersized middle because, I mean, the average middle is 6'2".
Right, but when they play against top ranked teams, their middles are 6'4", 6'7", 6'6". So I mean, but she does her job. She does very well. So.
Jessica Diedrich, who we mentioned, she had a kill, but Lexi Elman, she had a double-double. She had 10 kills. She hit 400 in that match, which is really good, especially for her when her career is I think at just around 200. So she had a good night. Another double-double for her. I think that's number 42 in her career. So that's awesome. Ashlyn Fleming, 8 kills. She hit 333. Emily Baptista, 8 kills. And in fact, Skylar Wine, who we were wondering where she's been, she kind of went into the witness protection program, I think, over recently.
Right.
She actually had a good night. She had 5 kills on 11 swings and hit 273. The dispatch of these to all the girls on the outside and in the middle was doing great. That starts with Jessica Diedrich and it starts with Andy Shelton. But I'm starting to think that Andy Shelton has a huge thing involved in this whole situation. She can play outside. She can play in the middle. She can play as a setter. What's your take on somebody like that? She almost plays like, if we want to use it in basketball terms, she can play almost like a shooting guard, or even she can be a point guard and shooting guard all at the same time.
I like to call her like a utility man, I mean that's what we call them in basketball, when they can just pretty much do it all. Wherever coach wants you to be at on that given time and moment, you can play that spot and be good at it. And that's what Andy's good at. She can play inside, outside. She's good at setting people up, and she has the best serve in the WCC, in my opinion.
Oh, she's got a deadly serve.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Do you think you could defend it?
No, I can't. It's really deadly. I don't know how she does it, but it's pretty amazing.
So this is Andy Shelton. Actually, after the match, you happen to be right behind me. There's a little bit of a funny story, kind of more an inside joke behind that now. But this is Andy Shelton after the match against St. Mary's, and the way that she's feeling her transition throughout this season. Andy, talk a little bit about your transition. I mean, you're not just a setter. You seem to be able to hit on the outsides and everything else. I mean, talk about the way that this season's kind of progressed even for yourself.
This season has honestly really progressed a lot. I've started out kind of just being a setter and then kind of just setting in the front row, and then now, coach is kind of just you can hit a ball every now and then, so why don't we just put you on the put you on the right side? So it's been really fun for me. I love hitting. I think it's really fun. It's kind of like a little stress reliever for me. I just get to kind of calm down and just hit a ball. And Jess has been putting up some really great sets, one-on-ones all the time. So so that's always great. But yeah, it's been fun.
Talk a little bit about tonight's match. I mean, winning 3-0 on sets, it has to be at least somewhat reassuring, especially when you start to look at some of the home matches you got coming up.
Yeah, it's really reassuring, especially in our conference where everyone's just kind of beating up on each other, and anything can happen, honestly. I mean, Portland's beating BYU and we're taking USD to 5. Anything can happen. So it's really great always to win in 3 and just sweep them and get the game done with. And I think our team just showed a lot of character coming back from our USD BYU trip and just coming out and killing it. So I think everyone just played awesome this game.
What do you think that as far as you have a little bit, you can be a setter, Jess can be a setter, and being able to serve too? Actually, to my left we have Baptista. We got everybody right around here right now. I mean, what kind of feeling is that, knowing that this is, I mean, realistically, you think about it, this is the future of Pacific volleyball?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's great to know that you can put a ball up to anyone and they're gonna do their best to put the ball down and they're gonna hit it as hard as they can. And as a hitter now, it's great to know that you have people behind you covering you, ready to dig a ball, and it's just awesome to know that we have the depth that we do, and it just makes me really excited for the future and everything.
So that was Andy Shelton, and I think she pretty much nailed it all on the head, what we were just talking about. She can pretty much play. I think if you compare it to last year and this year, the best way I can really say that it's the best for the team. Mm-hmm. I think the team mentality is the biggest thing. Lexi in the interview earlier, she basically said, I know I'm still getting my swings, I'm still getting my kills, I'm still getting everything that I enjoy, but it's nice to have the reassuring, and I'm paraphrasing, it's nice to have that it's not all on me.
Right.
And I think that happened a lot last year, and I think that now it's starting to really set in that this team has a plethora of people that can pretty much take over if they need to.
Right, and I want to say something about Andy. I think her sitting out last year really helped her develop as who she is now, playing-wise. Mm-hmm. Just getting to, learn the system again for a whole extra year and practicing with the girls and ladies. And now you can see her, she's really, blowing up into a really big part of this team.
Well, I also think that has a lot to do with Kimmy. Kimmy Whitson, who was the senior that graduated last year.
Yeah.
I think that learning from her as well was probably a huge aspect of this as well. I don't think that it's kind of, you can't really say that it would or wouldn't be, but if you probably put anybody else in Kimmy's spot, I don't think Andy would be the same person.
No.
I think that learning from Kimmy, who was a phenomenal setter, who was probably one of the best that Pacific had over the last 8 years, I would say within the last 2 recruiting classes, she was probably one of the best that they had, and I think that Andy learned a lot. Now, the serving, she perfected that on her own. I mean, that was something that she found on her own.
Right.
So, but the being the overall leader in the center of that court. I mean, I think it's best. You said it best. Is the utility person on that court. She can be, okay, coach wants me on the outside. I'll hit from the outside. Okay, I can swing. No problem, because we know she's got power.
Exactly.
Okay, you want me as a setter? Okay, so I have my 17 sets or assists throughout the night. Okay, perfect. I know Lexi's right on the outside. She's going to take care of everything. Oh, wait, the outside's not hurt or isn't hurting everybody? Fine, we'll go in the middle. I know that Ashlyn's going to be there. I know that Emily Baptista is going to be there. I mean, there is such, and she said it, is that there's such a great depth here that I think that Lexi is turning into an overall. She was always a great defender.
Right.
But I think an overall player, and I think that she's able to be more comfortable in the back and then play on the outside if she needs to. I think it's been great.
I actually noticed that this year she's moving around a lot. Last year she was always on the outsides hitting because they needed her to do that. They needed her to get kills almost all the time. But this year they have other people to get kills, to help her out. So it's an all-around team effort. So she doesn't have to use all her energy. And by the time it's the fifth set, she won't be gassed or too tired to really hit a ball for a kill that they really need. And when they get to the fifth set, she's well rested. She has great power. And I think it's great for everybody to have good team depth.
So we talked a little bit about water polo as well. I mean, I kind of want to. I like talking about volleyball because I've been focused on this sport for the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. So to me, it's become a really huge part of me, being able to call some of the games and also just being able to watch them. I've learned so much from them.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. But I also want to touch bases on men's water polo. They've got a few big matches coming up, as well as the huge win for the women's field hockey team, taking on the number 15 nationally ranked Stanford women's field hockey team and winning.
Right, that was a huge win for the whole entire school,
Right.
So we were all very proud of them, and they pulled it out, and it was a great team effort.
So, and it was funny because on our 209 Sports Facebook page, we posted a video of head coach Andy Smith, where it was funny because when the game ended, you saw him want to celebrate.
Right.
He started to raise his arms up in victory, and he probably kind of did the chicken wing where he got about a third of the way up, stopped, turned around, went to the other coaches to go shake their hands.
Yeah, he knew it was a big win. I mean, everybody knew it was a huge win. It was a big game, and they really wanted it and they really needed it, and they got it.
Yeah, so, I mean, and Laura Puhade, she mentioned that it was probably one of the biggest wins that now they feel they can take conference.
Right.
So that's huge. I think it pushes them to where, I mean, let's put it this way. They had a roller coaster start of the season. They lost the first 3 matches of their season. So that must have been tough. And then they went on this ridiculous winning streak where they won, I think it was 9 in a row. They lost to Stanford at Stanford, came home, took on, they took on UC Davis, beat them in a 3-2 grinder in UC Davis, came home, took on Stanford, beat them 1-0. I mean, and I think you nailed it right on the head. I think it was probably the biggest win, not only for them, their sport, but I think in Pacific Tiger history for the sport of field hockey, I think it was probably one of the, if not the hugest, one of the hugest wins that they've ever had.
And when all it takes is really one key win to get you feeling a whole different way about the team and about yourself. And as they said, they feel that they can win conference now. And all it takes is one really, really good quality game. And that's what they can do for you.
How did head coach Andy Smith feel about it? Well, this is how he said that they were going to celebrate. Coach, after the game against Stanford at their home turf, you took them home. You were able to beat them 1-0. Talk about this performance today.
I thought we dominated the game, to be honest with you. I think we didn't give them a sniff in the first half, and I think in the second half they changed some stuff up. Fair play to them, but we scored a goal and we kind of dominated the game. I think last weekend we didn't feel we did ourselves justice at all in the game, and it was we were very, very frustrated coming home, and we fixed it. We worked on it all week. We changed our game plan, and we changed the game. So we're very happy today.
After an emotional win like this, how do you keep them focused on not trying to get ahead of themselves when you got Cal coming in later?
We'll go and eat some fast food tonight. We'll go and have some time off. We'll recover tomorrow. Maybe we'll play softball or something to recover it tomorrow. We'll take Tuesday off and we'll train Wednesday. And I just think these guys want. A lot of them got a taste of it last year, and they want more this year. And I think that there's a lot. We've got a lot of hockey left in us, and I think that it's just one step at a time for us. And we're in a really good place, and we're really happy with it.
Talk about the last couple of shots on goal here for Stanford. How is that stress like, and your faith in that defense, the way that they held up?
They've been phenomenal. I mean, they have every faith in their defense. In our defense, I think we defended very, very well today. We got under the cosh a couple of times. There was some really, really close calls at the end there, but we stood firm. We got great leadership at the back and all the way through the team now, and we're very happy with today.
So they went and celebrated with some fast food and then softball the next day.
Nice. What really stood out to me in that interview is how they said they changed the game plan and then they executed. Nothing makes a coach more happier in any sport than them changing a game plan, going over it all week in practice, and then the players coming out and executing the game plan. That just makes everyone and the whole coaching staff just feel great because they know that if we execute the game plan that we change, we can win, and they did that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I think that obviously that goes a long way for what you have to do in order to win a game. You have to. I mean, hey, coaches can only do one thing, and that's just kind of implement a game plan and show you what they want.
Exactly.
After that, it's all on the players, and I think that it was a great all-around performance by coaches, players, and entire staff. I think it was a phenomenal way to win.
Yeah.
So, and then, I mean, heck, I think last year we can talk about the roller coaster ride you guys were on, the men's basketball team. Better be careful on how I say it because I could just say you guys and no one knows what I'm talking about if you're just tuning in. So, men's basketball for University of Pacific, they were on one heck of a roller coaster. But there was one win, that's 2 wins technically, but one win that stuck out in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Going to Provost
and
winning in BYU territory.
Right.
And I kind of and what I'm wanting to compare with, and I want you to tell me your emotion behind it, because like Laura Pohade, we interviewed her afterwards. That was played earlier in the show with Yeti and Gonzo. She was very, very emotional.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like she did a great job to compose herself and talk with me for a few moments. But you could tell that she didn't know if she wanted to not stop smiling, cry, laugh so hard. Be with her team. Obviously, she wanted to be with her teammates and only her teammates. She was like, okay, just get over. And she wasn't like this, obviously, but it was almost that point where she was like, let's get this done because I want to go celebrate, kind of thing. You had an opportunity to have some sort of feeling like that, and that was in Provost. What was that team like, beating a number 15 nationally ranked team? You have that feeling like you beat in Provost.
Right. Well, first of all, playing against BYU was just ecstatic. I mean, you watch them on TV and you see their crowd. Their gym is like the size of an NBA arena. But you don't really understand the feeling until you get there. And when we got there, it took us like 15 minutes just to get to the locker room. It was just so big and huge. And then that's how we knew. We was like, oh my god, like this is
legit.
Yeah, they're legit. They got security guards around every corner. Then then we finally get to the floor, and it's like, oh my god, there's so many seats. Like it's unreal. And then once we got out there, it's just like, I mean, they're just like us. They tie the shoes the same way we do. They put on the jerseys the same way we do. And coach put in a good game plan, and we executed it, and we came out with a victory, and it felt amazing.
What was that emotion? I mean, a celebration afterwards. I mean, I know that Coach gave a call to Bob Highfill after the game and talked to the coach. But I remember seeing, I believe it was on your guys' Twitter page, and Coach Burns at the time was. I mean, I thought he was going to completely jump out of his skin on how excited he was for you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, and I can only imagine what that locker room was like after the camera was off, because that looked like probably one of the most. I think that was probably one of the most fun times you guys were actually playing.
Yeah.
And I think that in a lot of reality, I think we kind of compare it to what the girls are probably feeling at this moment.
I mean, it was so great because we had a really bad season last year record-wise, but we were in every single game. Like it literally came down to the last 4 or 5 minutes every single game, except for maybe 2 or 3 games we got blown out against.
The Gonzaga game.
Gonzaga,
that's one of them.
Arizona, and Fresno State.
Okay.
I think those are legit the only 3 games that we really got blown out. But every single game we were in, we were able to beat almost every single team that we played. And we actually, when it got down to the last 4 minutes, we actually came together as a unit, got defensive stops. Eric Thompson had 2 or 3 huge blocks.
Yes, he did.
In the last 2 or 3 minutes. Then DJ Ursery knocked down 4 or 5 key free throws. TJ Wallace, I think, hit a 3, and Alec Colbert might have hit a 3. And we actually just came together and defensively and got it done. It was the best feeling in the world.
So they have a little bit of time off. They'll be playing again on Friday against Cal. And the reason why I bring this up, another thing that I wanted to bring up, because I know that you guys had to kind of regroup, and unfortunately it didn't work out for you. What type of advice would you give them after an emotional win like this against a number 15 nationally ranked team, against a team that they should beat, and that being Cal?
The advice I would give is to celebrate, but not too much. You know, have your day of celebration on the next day, but then after that day, act like it never happened. You know, get back to work, get back to practice, to weights, to watching film, to all that, and regroup. You know, you're on momentum, you're high already, but you can't get too high to where, you know, you think you're the best in the world. But, you know, ride that momentum, ride that wave, and take it into the next game.
Yeah, I mean, right now they have to feel like world beaters. I mean, you know, their next match is against Cal, and like we've plugged it a couple times as well. I'll plug it one more time. I'll be on the call on that one, so I'm looking forward to calling this one. Thanks to Paul Meiskens, who was unfortunately not available. Fortunately, unfortunately, because as much as I know that he wants to be there, he does have certain obligations that he has to get to, and it gives me the opportunity to see what this women's field hockey team can do at a different kind of level. So I'm looking forward to this match against Cal. Before we go to break, okay, so we gave you two different things: volleyball against Santa Clara and women's field hockey. Let's give, since you'll see where I'm going with this here in a minute. Let's give some predictions. So Santa Clara, how many does Pacific win, and in how many sets?
I think we win. I'm gonna say we win in 3.
Wow.
I'm gonna say we win in 3.
Look at you go.
I'm gonna say we're gonna come out aggressive like we did last week. I think we're gonna have a great team effort. I think there's gonna be a lot of what we did last game, a lot of even stats of kills, and I think it's going to be a good team effort.
Good distribution, and this team should win. I'm going to say 4 because I think Santa Clara is a little bit better than what St. Mary's is. So I'll give it 4, but I think Pacific wins. Especially you're at home. You have an 8-4 record at home. Let's make it happen.
Right.
Women's field hockey on Friday. Score and thoughts. And how do they win? Or what's the key to winning?
I think the key to winning is, like the coach said, is their defense.
Okay.
Their defense, and also being aggressive offensively. I think we win. Score.
I got one in my head. Let's see if you're close.
Let's see your score first.
4-2.
4-2. I was thinking 3-1.
Ooh. Okay. I'm good with that.
3-1.
So, and if you wondered why I was giving out predictions, because as Malik knows, he knows what's coming up next, which means we go to NFL. We do NFL pick'ems. That means we are going to take a small break because it is top of the hour. And oh, crud. Jeff, how come you're not prepared? This is your job, dude. What are you doing? Why am I doing this? But anyways, you're listening to 209 Sports Talk here on the Pacific Tiger Radio Network, 91.9 FM, as well as on the 209 Sports YouTube channel. I am JD Jeff Dominic. Alongside with me, Malik Haynes. We'll be right back.
You're listening to KPAC, Stockton, 91.9, home of the Pacific Tigers.
Go Caleb! Come on, hit a homer, Jesse!
Let's go, guys!
Hey, did you guys know that kids who play sports earn more money when they grow up?
Of course. I knew that.
Hey, did you guys know that kids who read books have a bigger vocabulary?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Wow, jinx. Did you guys know that friendly children have more friends?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's true. I knew that. Did you guys know that winter babies are better at music?
Everyone knows that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, so obvious.
Oh, hey, guys, did you know that most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Huh, I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure I knew that.
I'm pretty sure you didn't.
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right car seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to make sure your child is protected. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him going on to fascinate millions with this talent? 1 in 260,000. The odds of him having 15 career NASCAR victories? 1 in 1.7 million. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I'm Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Man, do I love card night. You ready, boys? You got a king?
Go, fish dad!
Oh, come on! This is WWE superstar Titus O'Neil. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Wanting to take your fantasy football lineup to the next level? For beginners and the advanced players, listen to Fantasy Football Classroom every Tuesday and Thursday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. JD, Jeff Dominic.
Odell Beckham, I mean, where has he been? He was highly regarded as one of the top, I'm going to say top 5 wide receivers picked in the majority of fantasy football leagues. And he has been, I'd much rather have Victor Cruz right now than him. Here's the other thing about Sammy Coates is that he's a good player to stash. This is coming from Mark Leong, our third member. Like I said, he'll be back here hopefully next week. He now has five games of 40 or more yards. Mm-hmm. So there's somebody there.
Professor Stephen Farias.
Dak Prescott, he's got a good running game. He might have Dez back this week. He might not, but he's still going to go underneath. He's got Cole Beasley, Jason Witten, likes to throw that underneath pass. He's going to get you a ton of completions.
Listen to Fantasy Football Classroom every Tuesday and Thursday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Pacific Tiger Radio 91.9 FM.
How to be a great dad in 15 seconds. Bike ride, go fish, walk in the park, phone call, milkshake, play catch, picnic, fly a kite, tell jokes, laugh, talk, read a story, tell a story, bumper cars, swing set, bowling, pillow fight, cut loose, stay tight. Whew. Because the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council. It's 6:42 p.m. Time for Steve Plato and his son Dylan to do the dishes. They talk about everything from the yuckiness of girls to the awesomeness of his soccer team. Sometimes they don't talk at all. Then, hey! The dreaded splash fight. It's Dad O'Clock, and it's the best time of the day. Because the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
It's Thursday night and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Is in the building. Welcome back to 209 Sports Talk here on the 209 Sports channel. I am JD Jeff Dominic, as well as Mr. Malik Haynes is with me, but we have more in the studio. That is the professional pick'em, NFL pick'em. That is Chris Cannon, as well as Mr. DJ JOD, Mark Leong. What's going on, guys?
What's going on, man? How y'all doing today?
Good, man. Good.
Can you hear us?
I can hear. I think I could have heard.
Can you hear me?
I can hear Chris.
Okay. You sure?
No.
You're probably just hearing. Okay.
I'm hearing some sort of feedback. I don't know if it's you or.
I got static in my headphones.
Yeah, you're gonna have a little bit of that. That's gonna be given. So, so we're trying to get everybody online here. But as we're doing that, which means with everybody in the studio here, that means it is time for. I don't know. Bless you. No.
Bless you. Bless you. Bless you.
That's not you. But anyways, that's what I'm saying. Just move them over. But that's just me talking. I don't know what I'm doing.
Oops, I got the wrong mic.
Oh, is that what's going on?
No.
No. Okay.
So it doesn't work.
So NFL Pick'ems this week. It's going to be so. I think Malik, how did you think you did last week? I haven't pulled everything up.
I think I did pretty good, honestly.
Let me see if I can pull them up. I know, Chris, you weren't here last week just because of a little bit of miscommunication, I'm going to say. Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see if I can pull up the last week's NFL Pick'em. Should have them right here. What was last week? That was this. Was last week the 11th? Yeah, it looks like it.
I hope you chose the Cowboys last week.
I don't know. We're about to find out.
I know I did.
You did? Yeah.
I know something we picked. The Seahawks. Malik and I both picked the Seahawks. So
that was a good one. Yeah. Who picked the Dolphins? Or anybody pick the Dolphins? Or
I don't think anybody picked the Dolphins.
Steelers. Yeah. And blew them out.
Let's see here.
Upset.
Why does it? Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. All right. So are we ready here? So this was last week. I want to make sure we get everybody involved on this. So we were all in the Broncos. Wrong. Let's see here. 49ers and Bills. All on the Bills. Right. Malik stood out above everybody, and that was the Eagles versus the Redskins. Malik took the Redskins. Good call, man. Browns and Titans. Everyone was on the Titans, and except for me, because I thought the Browns were going to take it. They lost by 2. Ravens, Giants. Wrong. Giants won that one. We were all on the Ravens. Panthers versus Saints. Wrong. We're doing great. Jaguars at Bears. Malik. Wrong. All else were on the Jags.
Can you hear me?
Rams at Lions.
I would have took the Bears on that one, though, so that wasn't even bad, man.
Rams at Lions. Steelers at Dolphins. Wrong. Man, we suck.
Everybody has Steelers on that one, though. That's one of the college football upsets right there.
Bengals at Patriots. Hey, we got one right. So there's that one. How about Chiefs at Raiders? Wrong. We suck.
I took the Chiefs all day on that one.
Yeah, we picked the Raiders. Everyone picked the Raiders. Falcons, Seahawks. Malik and I.
Sure.
Ding ding.
Off a controversial call, though. Off a controversial no call.
Controversial don't matter, so win.
Controversial no call.
Last time I checked, it still says a W in the win column. That's the only problem.
Somebody might get fired, though, after that W came in the win column.
Cowboys at Packers. That's where we got the confusion. So myself and Kyle both picked the Packers. Malik and Mark took the Cowboys.
No, so I did got that right.
Here's the other one. JD got one right. JD took the Texans against everyone else took the Colts. And then we were all on the Cardinals. That was a good call. So that was a good way to end everything. So that's how things kind of wrapped up for us. And Jesus, we need to do something better than what we did last week.
500.
Got to do something.
Did you go 500?
I think I might have won 500.
Wow.
What about 2 weeks ago? We're Malik's still trying to figure out if
we're not talking about that right now, all right?
We're not take it as a win.
Accident deleted.
We'll call it whatever it is. But for whatever reason, I don't have the. I have the schedule. I just don't. I thought it was. I copied and pasted it, but apparently I didn't. So I'll have to do it a little bit differently. So to start the Thursday night color rush feature by the NFL, it's going to be the Bears against the Packers. Packers coming off of a tough loss against the Cowboys, going against a Bears team that, if you listen to the Fantasy Football Classroom on this morning at 9:30 to noon, I was not high on anybody from the Bears. I think the Packers are going to come out completely ticked off, and I think they're coming out with a win.
I'm taking Chicago on this one.
What?
They got Eddie Lacy, not 100%. The wide receiver Cobb, not 100%. Aaron Rodgers, he may not have his hitters out there, so I'm taking
Eddie
Chicago.
Lacy's out.
Yeah, so yeah.
He's out?
Out.
So who's going to
It
start?
was doubtful, so now it's out. Is that the final call?
Yeah, they said it's the final call.
Yeah.
I think Spencer Ware, who they just picked up off of a trade from the Kansas City Chiefs.
They got Spencer Ware off a trade?
I believe so. So
Wow.
Spencer Ware or somebody like that.
I thought it was not Ware. It can't be Ware.
It was somebody.
Not from Kansas City.
It was from Kansas City.
Spencer Ware?
You're not. But what? I think Travis West.
No.
Not West.
I don't think the bid
Sharkhandrick
rate-
West, you mean?
Who?
Sharkhandrick?
Yeah.
Let me look. So, anyways, go ahead and continue talking about the Packers real quick.
I'm gonna take the Packers. Even if Lacy's out, I mean, Aaron Rodgers is going to throw like 50 times.
Who you gonna throw it to? Randall Cobb gonna be out too, possibly.
Aaron Rodgers makes passes to nobody for the
They
past.
still got
couple
Jordy
years.
Nelson, but I mean, it's not how it was before the injury.
Niles Davis. That's who they. That's who they.
I knew it wasn't no Spencer. I don't say.
I had to think about it. I
Big red machine tripping.
Okay, so my bad, but yeah, that's who it is. So Chris, you're on the Bears. Malik's on Packers.
I gotta go Packers.
Packers.
I can't trust Brian Hoyer. But you said Eddie Lacy is gonna be out.
Yeah.
Out where the buffet.
Ooh. We got a buffet.
You got a buffet in Green Bay.
So Chris is on the Bears. Everyone else is on the Packers. I thought this may be a little bit different because I mean last week it was kind of a little bit more 3-1 kind of roll, but so far just for the very first game, it's everyone ganging up on one person. So, oh well. Giants at Rams. This one's being played in England. Rams got to travel even further from the West Coast than just going to the East Coast, which means this is also a home game for the Rams. But if we all know this isn't a home game.
Yeah, I'm taking New York on this one, man. Odell Beckham, man, he's playing good ball again. Eli Manning seems to always kind of get lucky in clutch situations, so it's going to be a close game. But I think Eli will pull it through in a clutch moment with this one.
I'm with you. I say the Giants.
Yeah, I got the Giants.
Oh, Giants.
Oh, hail to the Giants.
All right, so there's that. We're flying through these actually. Saints at Chiefs. Saints. The offense looks great. They just beat the Carolina Panthers, the Super Bowl reigning, or I'm sorry, not Super Bowl reigning, but the NFC reigning champions, Carolina Panthers. The Chiefs just coming off that win against the Oakland Raiders, as we just mentioned a little earlier. So this time it's in Arrowhead. I'm going to go, I've got Kyle's taking the Saints. I'm kind of saying that this almost is a coin flip, but I'm taking the Chiefs.
I'm going to take the Chiefs also.
I got the Chiefs on this one, man. I like the way that Spencer Ware is playing right now. That's why when you said he was traded, I said that's a shocker.
Sorry, I had to get the right. You're right. I had to get it right for you.
Spencer Ware is playing great ball right now. Andy Reid's a phenomenal coach, and they're playing in Kansas City, so they have the home field advantage.
Right.
Over the Saints, man, the Saints are a good team, but it seems like they just can't get it done in the fourth quarter, when it counts.
They can't any defense. I mean, their offense is fine. I mean, they can put up 30, 40 points.
Yeah.
Their defense can't stop anyone.
You also think of this is that if you put them on a track like that is the dome of in New Orleans, that's one thing. You put them on solid grass, and they're just a better than average team.
Right.
So I'm on the Chiefs. Mark?
I'm the lone. Well, I'm with Kyle. I'm with the Saints. I mean, Alex Smith is a good clock management, but you're playing against Drew Brees. You got a lot of weapons in offense.
I mean, do they really, besides Brandon Cooks, who's another phenomenal weapon they have out
William Snead,
Mark.
I don't know his first name, but I know Thomas, Cody Fleener whenever he shows up. But like Malik said earlier, the defense. Right. But if Breeze and the offense can keep the ball off Alex Smith's hand, then they should have a shot to win the game.
Well, they also have Mark Ingram, who's a solid running back. If you're a fantasy football guy, he roughly gets you about 60 to 70 yards a game. He'll probably get you about 12 to 13 points and probably get you a touchdown. But I would say Mark Ingram is probably going to be the biggest threat for the against the Kansas City Chiefs
because he could run and catch. Backfield.
So Kyle and Mark are on the Saints. Myself, Chris, and Malik are on the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Brings us to Colts at Titans. Both teams, I think, can score a lot of points in this. But I think that neither of them have a good enough defense to... It's going to be kind of a shootout. Not a fan of Titans defense, and I'm not a fan of the Colts defense at all, especially what they did against the Texans.
Right, so if we're going for a shootout, I'm taking Andrew Luck over Mariota. So.
And it's in Tennessee. I want to throw that out there too.
Still taking Andrew.
Okay, I just wanted to give it to you.
I got to go on the opposite side, man. I'm taking Tennessee. I like Marcus Mariota, DeMarco Murray. They're starting to get that relationship going now. Marcus Mariota starting to come into that leadership role as a quarterback. Starting to demand the attention, demand the leadership as a team. So I'm going with Tennessee in this one. No matter what, it's going to be a game of offense. But I think in the end, with Tennessee at home, they'll pull this one off.
Right.
I go with the Titans because being that DeMarco Murray is in my fantasy football team, I need him to give me a couple, not a couple yard, but 100-yard game and a couple of touchdowns.
Well,
thank you very much.
What that means is, Malik, I'm going to say I wish you the best of luck. Cause,
I think I did pretty good last week on being by myself. So
And 2 weeks ago.
And 2 weeks ago.
And here's the thing: is I'm not trying to cushion the blow in any way, shape, or form. If you do take this, but I kind of looked at this as a coin flip. So I don't really. I mean, I think that either way, you're not wrong and you're not right at this point.
I think
I hope you're more wrong than you're right.
I'm right. I'm right.
I mean, battle at the field goal. I think there's either team, like you said, it's going to flip a coin who's going to make the winning field goal. It's going to end up being a field goal in the end.
Where I thought that one might be a shootout. This one may be a defensive-oriented matchup. Vikings at Eagles, and it's in Philly. So
Philly gonna give them their first loss, man.
No, Eagles already lost. Oh, you said Eagles are going to
Yeah, Philly gonna give them their first loss. I'm calling it right now.
It's in Philly, you said?
It's in Philly.
Someone's not a Cowboys fan anymore.
I'm always gonna be Cowboys fan.
I thought Chris would always.
Hey,
NFC East, anybody against them, I'm good with. Oh, they're both playing. I hope they tie.
Nah, man.
There's
you
no
know,
winners.
I don't have that. I still don't have that much faith in Sam Bradford. I think that it's surprising that they're 5-0 without their star quarterback. Sam Bradford, he's a good quarterback, but he's not a quarterback that can lead a team to a 16-0 season. No, never.
I mean, I think he's better than Teddy Bridgewater.
Never.
So let me ask you this, and the Teddy Bridgewater, we'll throw that conversation out for now. Is he better than Carson Wentz?
I think their defense is good. I think their defense is good enough for him.
I don't think so.
I don't think he's better than them, but I think their defense can hold up against the Eagles' offense.
Let me ask one more question. Does he have better talent around him than Carson Wentz?
Bradford?
Yeah.
I would say with AP.
Stephon Diggs, Mark Asiata, Jarrett McKinnon. I mean, they've got. They got decent players.
Yeah, they
some weapons, but they shouldn't be 5-0. Definitely, Minnesota shouldn't be 5-0.
Well, their defense is keeping them there, and they're also coming off a bye week.
Right.
So they got the extra time to game plan for
exactly. I'm taking the Vikings.
I'm not trying to sway you, but I feel bad that I feel like I am trying to sway you, but at the same time, I'm at least trying to give you some knowledge just in case you weren't thinking about it.
I wasn't thinking about the bye week situation, but like I said, I still don't have that much faith in Sam Bradford.
Okay.
Leading a charge like this, even like last year's Panthers, who went 12-0 for they lost their first game. That was a team that was had all great weapons. The Vikings, no, I think it's just almost to look at the draw, and I'll say it right. Bradford is a good quarterback, average quarterback, but he's not a star quarterback that's going to march down like that.
He's playing without as much pressure on him, and that's. I mean, I think that defense is what's going to win this game. Mark.
Well, wait, before I pick my team, this is for Chris. What if AP Adrian Peterson was playing and Sam Bradford was playing, and they are 5-1
or 5-0?
5-0. Do you say that you don't think it's Sam Bradford, or are you gonna say because they had Adrian Peterson in the running back?
Oh, well, definitely. I think every time AP's on the field, he's a great threat, right? He can catch, he can run a flat, he can run it.
Who's throwing it to him? Who's giving the ball?
Bro, Bradford's giving the ball, but what I'm saying is that with AP on the field, that's a decoy no matter what. You always want to look out for AP, so that just gives you more momentum as a quarterback. A great quarterback will be able to do it without a great running back.
And he's doing that. He's 5-0 without him.
But I think that has been the look of the draw so far, though.
He is not 5-0 without him. He is 3-0 without him.
3-0. 3-0.
So
still 0.
Yeah. I'm sorry. So
let's call it next week when I come back next week. Then be like, man, how did Philly pull that off?
So he's still
like I told you, bro.
He picked the Eagles, but he doesn't like Sam Bradford because he played for the Eagles.
And plus Sam Bradford went to Oklahoma too. I don't even like Oklahoma.
Wow. You're straight Texas, aren't you? Like it doesn't matter any team that's from Texas. I'll even like Houston every now and then.
And like the Buckeyes too. You know, let's do college football next time.
Oh man, Mark, who you got?
I said Vikings.
Oh, you got Vikings. All right. So Mark, myself. Oops, I wanted to do it that way. Chris, you are completely solo when it comes to the Eagles. Yeah.
All right, let's watch.
I was trying to even vouch to give you one. I didn't know who. If it was, I was trying to see if Mark would even go that route.
Yeah.
I'm going to be surprised if anyone goes against this. The winless Browns against the Bengals.
Nah, Bengals.
Bengals.
I just wanted to see. I wanted to entertain it for
Are
a
you gonna
second.
be the Browns? You gonna pick them and win?
Browns
this?
might.
No, I'm done. I'm
You
finished
gonna
with
try
that.
again?
They might go 0-16.
Nah, I don't think.
I think they'll keep
No,
winning.
I don't think they'll go
I
16.
sure hope
but-
not.
Yeah.
But they just might.
They gotta win at least.
I hope they
10.
don't. I hope they don't for the simple fact that Cleveland is winning right now. The Cavaliers just won the championship.
baseball.
Indians are on their way to
That's
the World
sad if
Series.
the Browns
So the
don't.
Browns have got to do something. Like this is Cleveland's year.
Win a game.
Yeah, at
And
least.
whatever the win, they're gonna think that they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's gonna be a celebration.
So it should
bro.
be like the last game.
Let's see, what else do we have here? I was just trying to see if I would even have a discussion behind it. Terrell Pryor even may be out for this one. So,
For real?
yeah, that's a rumor. Check your listings.
So that's like your. He could
RG3's
technically be
out.
like the sixth quarterback.
Yeah.
Terrell Pryor's been going back and forth from quarterback to receiver a lot too, so that's how you know they have nobody out there. Got this one man throwing to himself. essentially.
Yeah, seriously.
Think about it, right?
How about Redskins at Lions? This one's kind of intriguing because the Lions look pretty good sometimes, and the Redskins actually have looked really good lately.
I'm taking
And
the
it's-
Redskins.
It's in Detroit. Still going Redskins? Okay.
Redskins. They play really good lately.
So I'm already saying that Chris is going to go with the Lions.
Yeah, this is tough. I think this is a tough pick, but
It ain't
for the simple fact that I think Detroit is back in their home. Detroit's 3-3. They're starting to get a groove or whatnot. I think that they can pull this one off right here.
Okay. So I'm going to give Chris is on there.
Am I solo?
So far, no.
All right, cool.
Actually, definitely not, because Kyle actually agreed with you that it's going to be Detroit. The only person we got left is Mark and his reasoning.
No reason. I'd just go with Lions.
Okay, well,
Even though I see the Redskins winning this.
but you just want to find a way to go against them, right?
Yeah, of course. I'm in Washington.
We have Raiders in Jacksonville taking on the Jaguars.
The Raiders.
I got the Raiders on this one.
Same here, Raiders.
Wow, there was like no discussion on this at all.
I mean, after a tough loss last week, I think they're gonna come back with some vengeance for this game.
Mark, where are you at? I'm going to try and vouch for this here a little bit, but I'm just trying to see where you're going to be
Did the
at.
Jaguars win last week?
Yes.
They did?
Against Chicago.
Against nobody.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there's somebody. Nobody's the Browns.
That's true.
Yeah, that's
If you said the Browns, then yeah, that's nobody. No, yeah, I go Jaguars. They're
You going with the Jags?
Yeah, they're good.
Wow.
Thank you. I thought I was going to be on my own on this.
You going with the Jags too?
I'm going Jaguars.
Let's look at this, right? Carr is really starting to get into a groove of things. He has Crabtree and he has Cooper, right? Those are two great receivers. Crabtree's a starter on any other team, a number one receiver. Any other team, he has him as a number two, right?
Okay.
With that, Murray is questionable, and they have a great defense too.
Is it Leon or Deion Washington? Leon. They lose Leon Washington.
Great defense as well too. That's playing good ball. Despite all the mess I talk against the Raiders, I see the Raiders as a playoff bound team this year.
I do too.
So here's why I went with Jaguars, and I don't know if Mark did, so I'm not going to put any words in his mouth. One, the Raiders just came off of a loss. That's a given.
So that's vengeance.
Two, they're going to the East Coast. Raiders don't do good going to the East Coast. They also give up a lot of points. Jaguars can score a lot of points. So I'm going to say that the Jaguars are going to be the team to beat, and that's why I'm going with Jaguars. Is because of the three things going against them right now. And yes, Professor, I see you back there. It's the Professor.
I chose the Raiders.
Farias. So I went Jaguars. Uh-oh.
That's fine.
So, if you don't know, this is Stephen Farias, who has now entered the realm of the 209 Sports Show. He is also my co-host for the Fantasy Football Classroom that can be heard on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9:30 to noon. He happened to just kind of somehow perfectly wedge himself in here when we were talking about the Oakland Raiders because he's a Raiders fan.
It's very true.
And just like him, I've been here all day too. So we're doing great.
Hey, can we just get in there that Jaguars defense
is not as formidable as they are talent-wise on paper, which is why the Raiders are going to crush them this week.
Wow. And the Raiders are good too, right? As far as their defense.
Their defense is the same thing.
But let's see how many sacks that Jaguars offense gives up. They give up 14 sacks, 7 picks. The
Look
Raiders
at
don't
that.
give up
Wow.
7 turnovers.
Look at this. Hey, this is not fantasy football classroom.
Hey, but look at it too. Look at it from this angle too, though, right? The Raiders are a high-scoring team. We've seen that when they played against the Saints.
And the Jaguars can be too.
But over if it comes down to that, the Raiders have more defense over the Jaguars, so that's why they're giving that upper edge. Yeah, I see going to
Jacksonville.
And their offense is better than Jaguars.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you have two legitimate wide receivers and an upcoming star of a
No, in
quarterback.
paper,
Hold on.
In paper, I believe they have the same amount of new players.
So okay,
On field it's the Raiders.
I will give you that you have Amari Cooper and you have Michael Crabtree, two great wide receivers. The Jaguars have 3, and I'm going to say these 3 in no particular order. They have the Allens, Allen Robinson, Allen Hearns. They have Julius Thomas, Stockton, 209 native as well. So Julius Thomas, if he's healthy and he's right, they got 3 guys that are going to be able to distribute the ball pretty well. I'm going to say that, and the Raiders give up a lot of points to the tight ends. So that's why I'm going with the Jaguars.
It's just the Blake Bortles. It's not living up to his expectations.
No.
From last year.
No, you're absolutely right. But I think that this win over the Bears, granted it was the Bears, I think this is going to be huge for them. So,
and we have to see how Oakland Raiders come up after a losing game. Do they go back to being focused on winning this game, or do you see them having 2-game losing streak?
I think the first quarter is really going to tell who's going to win this game.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, explain.
I mean, I feel like, if the Raiders come out, if Derek Carr comes out and if they get a field goal or a touchdown on their first drive and get a stop on their first defensive drive, then I feel they're going to score again. It's going to be a quick 14-0 or 10-0. I feel it's going to get away from the Jaguars.
And you know what I think too, right? I think don't forget Del Rio used to coach down there, so he knows some of the ins and outs about down there in Jacksonville, right? So therefore, there's some pep talks, some strategies, weather strategies, time strategies, as you said, that he can talk to them about, that can overcome some of those minute situations.
Okay. I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you're wrong. So,
10 minutes is up.
Wow. You know what's funny? I'm like, wow. I thought we would have a bigger discussion with the Browns and Bengals. Apparently, I was wrong, but that's okay. No. Bills at Dolphins. Dolphins coming off of a huge win against the Steelers, where I thought that they were going to be able to score a lot of points on against the Dolphins, and
but the Bills have a bigger.
The Bills have the best offense since week 3. They have the second best offense.
Behind who?
LaShawn McCoy. Shady.
But the Bills have the second best offense. Who's the number 1 best offense?
Oh, I don't know. I don't care.
Dallas.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. They own a bye. We don't care. So they have the best offense. How about that? But so the Bills with one of the best offenses in the league after week 2, taking on the Dolphins, who just beat an explosive Pittsburgh Steelers offense that they pretty much stifled them the whole game.
I think it's, instead of the Dolphins beating the Steelers, I think the Steelers beat themselves. Right? I think the Steelers went in there overconfident, overcocky. Thought, okay, let's focus on this next game. You see?
Well, you also have to remember that Big Ben got injured. And it looks like he's going to be out this upcoming game.
Well, yeah,
more than a game, because I think he needs surgery or something.
He went through surgery. That was yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So he's out for a couple weeks. But yeah, I think you nailed it right on the head. Is that I think they were looking at, because who are they playing that next week, which is this week? They're playing the New England Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I think you did. I think you nailed it right on the head. But as I kind of start to mention that this is also a AFC East division matchup, which I know, Mark, you're really huge on whenever it's a division matchup, because it's not always what it seems.
Mm-hmm.
You know, on paper, it may look really good. Okay, the Bills are rolling right now. They're one of the best teams in the league, and then they're going to play a team that is struggling like the Miami Dolphins. Okay, they came off of a good win, but we just talked about that it was a win that we think that the Pittsburgh Steelers beat themselves. So could this be another trap game where the Bills are flying high right now, but they could botch this one?
We could see that happening. I mean, especially how Bills destroyed the Niners. Because I know you try to avoid saying that.
No, I loved it. I loved every minute of it. Guess who's on my fantasy football team? LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
LaShawn McCoy about to have 150 yards this game. All pro yards this game.
He's one of my favorite running backs in the league, and I think Tyrod Taylor, he's really coming on to his own. You know, when he first got in the league, he was only a scrambler, but now he can sit in the pocket and make a lot of passes. So, and then he can scramble when he wants to. So, having him and McCoy in the backfield is a big bonus. So I'm taking the Bills.
I got Buffalo.
Yeah, I got Buffalo Bills, but it's gonna be a close game.
It's gonna be a fun game to watch.
It's gonna be this is gonna be a field goal.
We probably won't be able to watch it over here unless you got the direct TV.
Yeah,
or Red Zone.
But yeah, Red Zone you can only see like the touchdowns. I want to see.
Yeah.
There's no plug, but again, Periscope.
Periscope?
Yeah, on your phone.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Or get that Amazon stick.
My dad has that. He loves it. Yeah.
Let's see here. And Kyle, you're on your own. You're going to have the Dolphins by yourself.
Buy the NFL ticket.
There you go. How about Ravens at Jets? Are we concerned with the Jets? And really, am I really even supposed to be excited about this game at all?
No.
I'm not excited about this game at least bit.
The Jets, they're just
the Jets.
Yeah, they're just the Jets. I mean, I'm taking the Ravens.
Okay, so I've got 3 people so far, because that means Kyle and myself are also taking the Ravens. Chris, who you got?
I really don't even too much care about this game. So I'm going to just say the Jets and just try to be the oddball out again on this one.
Got the Ravens.
Yeah, you can be the oddball out then. Mark, you're on the Ravens.
But this is not a game that's interesting. It's not a game that's going to determine anything.
Right.
It could be the factor. Everyone might be all tired. You get the Jets. Yeah. I picked the Jets.
And we'll come in.
It might determine something for this radio show.
And we'll come in here on next Tuesday and we'll be like, he said he didn't care. It doesn't matter. He gets lost by that reason anyway.
But he's gonna be all happy, like I told you.
Throw the hands up. Got him.
Got him. Here's another one. If you like fantasy football, I'm going to say that the Buccaneers are going to be somebody to really look at as they take on and go to San Francisco. So we went from East Coast to West Coast now. San Francisco and Buccaneers against the San Francisco 49ers.
I got Frisco on this one, man. I think Colin Kaepernick's going to start again.
Yeah, it's official. He's starting this game.
You know, he finally got to the group of things. This is his first regular season game in 15 some games like that.
364 days.
Jesus Christ, that's a year.
Yeah.
That's a year, right? But he's back in the groove of things. He got used to those boos that he's going to get already, so he got that out of the system. Colin Kaepernick is still a good quarterback. Yeah, sometimes he might throw it overpoweringly, right? But that's what he has to do to get that in there in a tight situation. You see what I'm saying?
But that's something he need to work on. I mean, that's the problem before was he's overthrowing his passes.
Right.
And there's people I had debates with about it, like. There's other quarterbacks that done it, but we're not talking about the other quarterback. We're talking about Colin Kaepernick. That was something that he needed to fix on. And at the game, we saw he had 3 touchdowns at the end of the game. He overthrew the first touchdown pass. That could have been a touchdown, but it was overthrown. And at the 4th quarter, I believe, when he underthrew a pass,
he underthrew 10 yards to Torrey Smith. Torrey Smith blew the top off that defense, and he underthrew him by 10 yards.
Right.
He had to get out some of those jitters, so he hasn't played in a year.
At all the times you want to overthrow somebody, you want to try to overthrow him. At least he might be able to come up with it.
So normally I don't speak for someone, but I think Malik's going to go against the Niners just because he hates them. I'm kidding.
I'm going with the Bucks.
Yeah.
I mean, I like what Jameis Winston is doing. I mean, he's becoming a leader of that team, and he's fearless. I mean, he's one of those dudes that don't really care if he throws a pick because he knows the next time it's going to be a touchdown.
He's had a struggle this year, and that's true. But at the same time, I think that he has shown a lot of progression. I mean, his numbers might not be there, but he's still is showing that he can be a leader of this team. Keep in mind that when it comes to the Buccaneers, they're learning a new system all the way through. I mean, and that's not saying that you still got to be professional. You still got to understand things and learn real quick on the fly in a lot of sense. But he's a second-year quarterback learning a new system because obviously Lovie Smith isn't there anymore. They got, I believe it's Adam Gase is the quarter is the.
I think so. Yeah.
No, that's Miami. Gosh darn it, I can't think of the name off the top of my head now. But you're still learning a new system.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but I think that going against the Niners is a good one to give a good opportunity. So I'm going Bucks as well. Mark?
About myself on this one?
So far.
No, I like the Niners winning this because what Chris said earlier about Colin Kaepernick. I mean, last week I said he was going to throw one touchdown. Nope, I said he's going to throw a pick, but he didn't get the pick. And over 75 yards rushing. So he's going to at least get 2 touchdowns this week. He's finally going to either rush a touchdown and then throw a touchdown. So, but it's going to be a low scoring game. So.
All right.
Got the Niners.
Okay. Well, here's a good one. I think probably the surprise of the NFL this year. I really do. And that being said, no, I'm not saying the Chargers, but I'm saying the Falcons. It's Chargers at Falcons. It's in Atlanta, on that turf, in that dome. I think that the Chargers are going to put up a good fight. I think that Phillip Rivers is going to throw for his touchdowns, but I also think he's going to give up some things. And I think that's what's going to cause this Falcons team to come out with a win.
I'm taking the Falcons also. I mean, the Chargers, they might be the most team in the NFL that give up fourth quarter leads. No, seriously, I think they've had a lead in the fourth quarter in every one of their losses.
Yeah.
And they gave it up.
Right.
Last week was that last week or 2 weeks ago where
they lost to the Saints and they were up by 11. They were up by 10 last week against the Broncos. They just came off that win against the Broncos.
Yeah, right.
So
they
gotta throw that out there.
They didn't give up that.
That's true, but every other loss they have, they gave up the lead. So
no, you're right.
I'm going with the Falcons.
Okay. Do we have a vote for anywhere for the Chargers? I mean,
I got ATL on this one too, man. Matt Ryan's one of those quarterbacks I never really slept on. You know what I mean? He's always a quarterback that has came through, and ATL has always been an offensive power team. True. You know, even when they had Roddy Wright and had Julio Jones back there, they've always been an offensive power team. Now, Ryan and Jones are starting to get back in the groove of things as well too. Right? They're connecting. We've seen how Julio Jones has been dominating these past couple of games. 100 yards, I think, both games. So
on Richard Sherman too. One of the best cornerbacks in the league.
And so imagine what they'll do to San Diego's defense.
Right.
So this was his stats over the last 3 weeks. He had 300 yards 3 weeks ago. He only had 50 yards against the Denver Broncos, but then he had 130 plus against the Seattle Seahawks. That's not and that's against a team that is not the San Diego Chargers.
Exactly.
And the Chargers are going from the West Coast to the East Coast, which I'm really high on this right now. I've seen a lot of these big transitions, and I think it's going to hurt this team especially.
Yeah. I mean, when you get 100 plus yards on the Seahawks wide receiving, I mean that goes a long way because you got Richard Sherman probably guarding you, then you got Earl Thomas on the back end and Chancellor on the back end. So if you can get 150 plus yards receiving on them, then
respect.
Yeah, you're doing something.
12 minutes.
Now here's the other thing too. The Falcons have they've got probably some of the best wide receivers right now. They also have Mohamed Sanu. No one's really talking about him yet. They also have probably some of the best running game right now too. Tevin Coleman and Devontae Freeman. Those two guys right there, you got to throw out there as well because they've been solid all season long. I mean, they didn't have the greatest of games last week against the Seahawks, but they've been fairly solid all season long. Yeah. So that's another reason why on that turf it's just going to look like it's going to be the Falcons.
And I think you hit it on the nail too. People forget about Mohamed Sanu, right? And focus strictly on Jones. But when Jones is doubled, they think you can throw it out on the flat or throw it 10 yards of Sanu right there and keep it going.
Yep. So far it's 4. It just leaves Mark alone. Are you going to be the lone soldier or are you going to go?
Falcons.
Okay.
I thought you already got the Falcons.
No, I didn't hear you say anything, but that's all right.
Falcons.
There you go. So let's move. Flip the page here a little bit.
That's the Monday night game.
No.
Oh, we still
got 3 more. And I know
Patriots and Steelers, huh?
I'm gonna try and keep it as light as possible because I know one of us has to go to study hall. So we got 3. So we got 3 more games. To make them real quick. Patriots and Steelers.
Patriots.
We can still have a discussion, man.
Without Big Ben.
Without Big Ben,
there is no discussion.
Who's the quarterback? Cordell Stewart.
And Ryan Ryan Shazier also, right?
Charlie Batch.
Yeah, man.
Make sure, you know what? I haven't said this all night. You hella dumb.
Who's the quarterback for Steelers and backup?
Jarvis Landry.
Yeah, that's Charlie.
Yeah, you didn't think I knew that, did you?
Somebody watching.
Oh man! Now here's a good game, and I think that I know where one person and I know where two people are going. I think Seahawks at Cardinals. This is in Arizona.
Seahawks.
Wow, really?
I'm taking Seahawks.
I figured you would.
But I'm gonna give you the score. I'm gonna give you.
Oh.
All right, hold on. Okay, so
look at him though.
Hold on. Let me get this all right here.
I got Arizona favored by 2.
Okay, so I'm putting a little asterisk by Malik's name here.
Over under is 44.
I'm gonna give them 20.
We don't gamble here, sir.
27 to 14 Seahawks.
Wow.
27-14 Seahawks.
27-14.
I wrote it. It's there.
I wanted to say 7. I'm gonna let them score twice.
27-14. You heard it here first. So if it actually happens, I will give him a lot of credit, and that's about it. That's about all I'm giving you.
Well, we gotta watch out for Cardinals running back David Johnson.
Yeah.
I think he's going to get stifled against the Seahawks, man. I just really am not huge on this right now. I think the Seahawks have one of the best run defenses in the league still.
Michael Bennett, Bobby Wagner, Bruce Irvin, and all of them.
Well, that's what they said about the Packers. They're the number 1 run defense. And what
look
the
at what
Cowboys
happened.
did?
Look at what happened.
Well, the Cowboys got the number 1 offensive line in NFL history type. So.
And it's also, once again, it's NFC West. I don't mess with divisions. I just kind of stay away from stuff like that. It's NFC West division matchup. It's a rivalry game. It's gonna come out there nasty.
They definitely know their playbook left and right, back and forth too.
And who plays the best at the worst games? The Seahawks. They always find a way to win when they're not playing well, or when it's like a really bad game both ways, because they always control the tempo and their defense always comes through at the end.
Also, look at the history about the Seahawks versus the Cardinals over the last 4 seasons, and they have a winning edge, and that's including the playoffs. I believe it was like something like 10-3.
Seahawks.
So Seahawks. So I'm going Seahawks.
I'm
not giving you a score, but I'm going Seahawks.
Maybe I'm long because I'm going Arizona on this one. I'm not sleeping on Johnson. I'm not sleeping on Fitzgerald. Is Carson Palmer going to play? He's questionable.
Yeah, I think he's going to play. He played last week. He'll play this week.
And I'm going to say Palmer's going to throw 2 interceptions.
This guy's up.
I think Richard Sherman's going to get one, and Earl Thomas. And Earl Thomas is going to get one.
This guy's playing good tonight.
I like where he's at with it because I don't trust Carson Palmer. I don't trust him in a playoff game. He's not won a playoff game for anybody, that including Cincinnati when he was there, or Oakland. I don't think he ever even went to the playoffs when he was with Oakland. So I don't trust him in these big games as well. I mean, he's just not consistent. He's not reliable. So I'm with Malik all the way on this.
What he's gonna do? I think he's gonna have a good game, but there's gonna be it's gonna be that one pass where Richard Sherman's gonna get it.
All right, so let's go like this: 21-17, Arizona.
Wow.
Yes, dude.
Let's go.
All right.
This guy's feeling good. I'm feeling good. Let's go. We out here rocking tonight. Let's go.
Can we get a score on this?
Yeah, let's go.
I'm not giving scores. You're all on your own.
Let's go 24-13.
Who you
Seahawks.
24-13.
Seahawks.
All right. Y'all gonna peer pressure me, aren't you?
You might as well just give a score too.
Now I'm worried if I should bench Fitzgerald.
All right. So the one game I'm gonna give a score on, and it's gonna be this one. Man, you know what? I'm actually gonna go ahead and lower it all. I think it's gonna be 20-10. I'm going Seahawks.
Seahawks, okay.
Yeah.
I can see a little defensive battle.
So we know it's gonna be in the 20s for the winning team.
Yeah, right. It's the race to 20. So, all right. So there's that. I gave it to
that's a Sunday night game too. So
yeah,
perfect.
Yeah.
And then Russell Wilson they're actually playing like Jimmy Graham how he's supposed to be playing.
Right.
I mean, they're throwing him the ball 9, 10, 11 times a game, and he's one of the best tight ends in the league if you actually give him a chance.
And when he's healthy.
Yeah, and when he's healthy, right.
And here's the game that I think that we're all kind of on as well. I mean, as much as we were on with the Ravens game as well, Texans at Broncos. This is the Monday night game, and I'm not feeling this. I really am not.
This had the
it's kind
potential.
of like the Ravens and Jets.
It had the potential when they made the
so?
schedule. When they made the schedule. it had
Oh,
the
right.
potential.
Yeah. So I'm gonna. It's in Denver.
Brock goes back to his team, the Denver Broncos.
Oh, Brock Osweiler.
Brock.
$16.5 million to this guy this year, and he's playing like poopy. I mean,
Well,
I'm not a huge fan of him. I said that. I mean, Mark, you and I know. I mean, I've talked about this guy. I wasn't a huge fan of him for a long time as it was, and now that he's even with another team and your starter, I'm still not a huge fan of him.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going Denver because it's in Denver and because I just hate Brock Osweiler.
I'm going Denver too. I like Thomas. Of course, I like Ware. I think Denver. I like Von Miller. I'm going with Denver on this one. And
Has Ware
Denver,
been playing yet, or he's still out? I think he's still out.
He's still been out, but still that defense has been pretty rugged.
I'm taking Denver also.
Denver, flying Denver,
flying high.
flying high.
And so that
No
pretty
pun
much
intended.
So that pretty much wraps it up. I mean, those are our teams. So I know Malik has to get out of here right now, well, pretty much right now, which means we'll kind of start to wrap up our show as well. Malik, I know next week we are going to, because when you come in here, you pretty much are ready to go. We're going to start breaking down the matchup that we've been talking about as the men's basketball team for Pacific is getting ready to do the ESPN 24 hours of. And that's that game against Wisconsin. So
Like
I'm gonna have
11 o'clock at night, huh?
Yep.
I'm going to have my notepad. I've got a few things I've already kind of want to talk about, so I know that you're going to want to break this down. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm looking forward to this game against Wisconsin. They're coming to your home court.
Right.
I think that place is going to be rocking. I'm looking forward to it. So we'll break that down. What do the Pacific Tigers need to do in order to win that matchup? Plus, of course, the matchups this week. This week that we're going to recap, and that's going to be the let's start from what's going to happen Thursday. That's the women's volleyball team versus Santa Clara. Men's water polo against number 14 George Washington, the number 4 nationally ranked men's water polo team for Pacific takes on the number 14 George Washington. For field hockey, that's versus California. They just came off that huge win against number 15 nationally ranked Stanford. Let's see here. Then we go into the weekend on Saturday. Women's volleyball versus San Francisco. That's at noon. I'll miss that one, so I'm hoping Mark can make that one. We'll see how it goes. Men's soccer. That's at 7 o'clock. That's against Santa Clara. I'm looking forward to that. I'll make sure that I am there for that. So that means, Mark, you can have the night off. Unless you don't want it, because I know you like to take video. So, because then we'll post that to our 209 Sports Facebook page. Also follow us on the 209 Sports YouTube, or follow us on 209 Sports YouTube channel, but also on our Twitter account at 209_sports. We'll give you up-to-date stats on everything that we happen to be at. I know we're also going to be at Delta Football this week. They're taking on Chabot. On the 23rd for Pacific.
And don't forget for Friday night.
Oh, thank you. Go ahead.
For the Delta women's volleyball team, going to be there.
We'll be there as well, so to definitely follow the 209 Sports Twitter account, which means Mark won't have video, but he will have keep us up to date as well on the Facebook page. Let's see here. For Sunday, field hockey, UC Davis, that's going to be a big matchup. And for men's water polo, number 2 nationally ranked Cal comes into play at the Chris Jeltsin field or pool as they take on that one. I'll make sure I'm there for that. Under the lights. So the first time we're going to be able to really see these guys under the lights and pretty much take center stage. So looking forward to that. After that, that's pretty much it. So to wrap things up, Malik, I want you to kind of let us know what you're looking forward to this week before we let you go.
I'm looking forward to the volleyball game.
Okay.
To the volleyball game this week, and
you've already said it. You're saying 3-0.
Yeah, I
think
think
they're going to win straight
go
sits.
Sweep.
Yeah, I think they're going to sweep it. They're riding high off momentum from last week, and they're playing really good volleyball right now. Team good volleyball right now. So I think that's what I'm looking forward to the most.
Mark, I want to ask you. I mean, I know that you're pretty big on a lot of the sports around here as well. Now that that we've got our rhythm going, who you got, or what are you looking forward to? I know you're going to be specifically over at water polo on Thursday. So, are you looking forward to that? Are you looking forward to anything else?
Yeah, no, I'm actually looking forward to the water polo. I mean, losing to Cal, the number 1 rank, to see how
UCLA.
UCLA, my bad. Yeah. To see them bounce back from that, especially at home. I know they played away, I believe. So to see them come back, especially for my second game covering them. I want to see how they react from that win, from that loss. So.
Chris, your thoughts about this week? Is there anything that you're going to be able to attend? I know that you've got a lot of with your schedule. It's harder for you to catch a few games. But is there anything that you're at least looking forward to? So that way next week when we start talking about it, maybe you'll chime in for.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the volleyball. I like to follow the volleyball, but I'm more excited too when the basketball season kicks in as well for the men's and women's basketball.
Right.
So I'm more excited when that kicks in, and I'm definitely more excited when our baseball kicks in as well too. So
come back in like 2 months.
Yeah, so we'll see in a couple months. Yeah. No, but and for me, of course, I've thrown the cheap plug out here quite a bit. On Friday, I get an opportunity to call a match that I've never done. So this is going to be a new opportunity for me. I'm really excited about it, and that is field hockey. I will be on the Pacific Tiger Network, PacificTigers.com, doing the live broadcast for women's field hockey as they take on Cal after this big win. I really am interested and intrigued on what they can do this coming up as especially after the emotions riding high. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm predicting a win. Now, we talked about predictions as well. Malik, you said 3-1 in favor of Pacific. I said 4-2. I think this is conference, so I got to be very careful on that stuff. But and Mark, we talked about not being a homer, but at the same time, I'm really going to be a homer this week. I mean, it's just
Homer Simpson.
Don't. but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So a lot of good stuff coming up here. If you have an opportunity, check PacificTigers.com for any ticket pricing or if there's anything like that you may be interested in. Now, as far as soccer and field hockey, there is no charge, so definitely come out there and support the Tigers.
Are you sure about that?
I'm 100% positive of that.
100% now.
But if you have any questions and you find out that I'm wrong, you can go reach at That's an Error on Twitter. But seriously, so root on the Pacific Tigers. Field hockey and soccer, they're doing a great job, especially the men's soccer team when they take on Santa Clara on Saturday. Women's field hockey on Friday when they take on Cal at 3 o'clock. But as far as volleyball goes, they do charge to get into that stadium or into that arena. So check ticket prices, find out how much it is. I'm sure they'll get you all set up and ready to go. So with that being said, that is our show tonight. I know Malik's got to get out of here. I've said that twice now.
And he's still here.
That's all right. He knows we're getting him out of here. So let's go ahead and wrap things up. Mark, you almost let me mess up, man. You almost let me mess up.
Hey, you gotta.
I gotta learn sometime, right?
You gotta learn.
So let's go ahead and start thanking some people. And of course, we gotta thank the man, the myth, the legend, the gentleman that actually allows us to go ahead and do the show that we're doing currently right now, and that is Professor Graham Carpenter. Without him, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. And of course, he's an Alabama native, so that means I am no way, shape, or form putting any kind of disrespect for the University of Pacific Tigers. I am showing as much respect I can to the man that lets us do what we do right now. That is Professor Graham Carpenter. Thank you very much. With that being said, I will
Roll Tide.
I will end it now. So that's done with that. Oh, see, Mark? See, your fault. Your fault. I got you. I know where I'm going.
Intro and outro.
Sure. Really?
There you go.
Really?
And cue.
So now this makes a little bit more sense to Malik. He knows exactly what this means. That means it's the end of our show. Got a lot of people to thank. So let's go ahead and thank Moriana Clayton. She's now having her personal show. That is Tuesdays with Moriana. Tuesdays with Maury. That's Tuesday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. right here on Pacific Tiger Network 91.9 FM. We got to thank Jordan Gonzalez and Lucas Halstead, who now have started the Yeti and Gonzo show, which will be on Wednesdays from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. starting next week. We'll go ahead and give them a plug as well. Now with the people that are currently in this facility right now, I'm going to thank Chris Cannon, Malik Haynes, Mr. DJ J.O.D., Mark Itliong as he just bowed, and of course, once again, Professor Stephen Farias, who made a quick show up, real quick, just a quick moment. So just because he heard the Raiders. So thank you all very much. I am JD Jeff Dominic, which means next Tuesday from 6 to 9 p.m. we'll be back. 209 Sports is back in full effect. And for everybody else out there listening at home, thank you all very much for listening. If you're on 91.9, thank you all. 209 Sports, thank you very much. And on the Pacific Tiger Radio Network, thank you all very much. I am once again JD Jeff Dominic, telling everyone Have a great night. Be safe. Thank you very much.
In 50 feet, turn left. Why are you driving so slowly?
After a few drinks, I'm taking it slow.
Well, you're not fooling the cop behind you.
What?
Get ready to pay in 0.1 miles.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You're listening to KPAC, Stockton, 91.9, home of the Pacific Tigers.
Wanting to take your fantasy football lineup to the next level? For beginners and the advanced players, listen to Fantasy Football Classroom every Tuesday